Yeah. And happy Sunday to you. Let's start the week off right. I like to start my week off with fabulous friends. I don't know why I couldn't find any this week, but I do have these people here with me. So
you didn't lock down the Zoom, and we just were like, "Hello."
Open invitation to the stream this week, absolutely. Well, why don't you let me know who the hell you are and why you are here?
Okay. What do you want?
Oh my God. I am trying to have a nice stream and you guys show up and oh God. Okay, I'm gonna be okay. Everything's gonna be fine. First, let's start with Paul. Hey, Paul.
Hello.
What the fuck are you?
My name is Paul, aka Ampersand. I'm the creator of Homebrew Havoc, and I'm here to create some monsters and hopefully eventually turn them into a campaign. That should be fun.
Which is going to be super fabulous. And just so everyone knows, today we're not actually creating monsters, we are creating monster classes.
Yeah.
That you will be able to play alongside your character classes. So one of the biggest issues with playing a monster in a campaign is that they're almost always either too high a level or too low a level to play alongside other characters. And they don't like level up the same way that other people do. So that sucks. It makes me very, very sad. And the reason that is such an issue is because sometimes you want to play a monster in a longer term campaign or one where you level up on a regular basis. And this will allow you to do that. Yeah, and where can we find you? All over the intranets.
You can find me everywhere at AmpersandD20. I'm on Twitch. I've got my own Discord. I'm on Twitter. I'm technically on TikTok, but I haven't posted in ever. So, yeah, that's pretty much it. You can find me.
Oh no, did we just lose? Did we just lose Paul?
You can find me.
Hello.
I love that. That's the quest. We started. You Hello. Can find me. Oh!
My apologies. You can find me on Thursdays and Tuesdays over on my Twitch channel.
Did you hit something wrong, or is this a situation where
my internet is not the most stable thing? Apparently, that's what it's telling me.
If you fart a little too loud, it sort of comes up.
That's pretty much it, yeah.
Well, it's the heat in this country where the internet's just, the concept of internet's overheating at the moment. And they're like,
it's not just there. All over the US, people are experiencing the same thing. And I think it's because the machines that you use for an internet, like for a router, are meant to be used in like generally a room temperature situation. And if your room temperature is 30 degrees above your normal room temperature, that's not great. That's not super exciting. So we can find you all over, and you're also a part of the fabulous Rolling Together stream team.
Of course, yes, absolutely, yes.
I love it. With another, I think we just added guild superiors, so I think we're up to 14. 14 different stream team members at this point.
It's a good number.
Yeah, it's good.
We just didn't want 13. We just didn't want 13. That was the issue.
I mean, I prefer 13 because I do love a good prime number. It helps out with that. Although I do like 15 as well because that is also a nice, like, multiple of 5 number, which my OCD appreciates. Like I do like that. Hey Tom.
Hey.
So I know you're disappointed that we're not doing a hot tub episode today, but even though that's the case, why don't you tell us a little about yourself?
So what do we know about Tom? He's upset about the lack of hot tubs. I mean, that said, I do love a nice swim, so I'm just like, next time. Hi, I'm Tom. I work with Roll Together. I'm one of the players and one of the DMs. I also work with Queen's Court Games, who are also part of the stream team. We have announced that we've got basically a Blades in the Dark style campaign coming up with that. So, it's gone mad. We've bought masks, we've bought coats. It's, like all the things.
I love it.
When you're just like, okay, I guess we could do a little bit of cosplay. Oh my god. Yeah. And I'm also a massive fan of mythology and cryptozoology, so as when I saw it, I was like, yes, monsters, let's dig in. So very excited to be here.
Yay, well, welcome.
So, and also like for socials, if you look up Thomas and then Jancis, so Jancis or Jancis, you'll find me socials. If you look on Roll Together, it's I'm around. Find me. Find me. That's the quest hook for the week now. Is find me. In the UK, I can't remember the name of the guy, but there used to be a thing with like, if you can find that guy and say
Where's
you are,
Waldo?
yeah, kind of like if you say you are so and so, and I claim my £5, they would give you the £5. So it was like this big search for this one guy.
Oh my!
So we'd go to cities. Yeah, it was like in the newspapers in the 70s. This is the weird thing about me. I'm like 15, but also like 200. Like you're never quite sure what I know. I am on TikTok because I'm cosplaying and do something. I'm like, hey, cool. And that's the thing. We're like, the older people on TikTok. The people who were born in the in the early 2000s. I'm like, oh no, the children. Oh, the children.
I mean, back when I was born in the 1930s. I mean, the 1980s. There's because I am not 90 something. I promise. I know that that's what has been said about me. It's not true. I don't know where those rumors came from.
Again, you start every conversation with, hello, I'm not 90. And I'm like,
yeah. I've been working really hard to disabuse people of this information for a long time. For like nigh on like 80 years. So yes. So today I'm super excited to talk to you about a couple of sponsors that we have. First of all, Hero Forge, absolutely fabulous. Hero Forge, we love Hero Forge. I am not somebody that does visual arts. Performing arts, I'm here for it. Visual arts, I am terrible at this. But Hero Forge lets me create fabulous 3D renderings of my characters for my games, and it has improved my life so much, just so much. I love them. You can go over to heroforge.com right now, go sign up, get a bunch of stuff for free over there, make all kinds of fabulous characters, and then if you love the characters that you're creating, you can actually have them sent to you as physical minis so that you can play with them at your home tables. I love it. So head over to heroforge.com. Next, I'd like to thank Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. It's a fabulous mobile game where you get to play champions from where? The Forgotten Realms. That's right. My personal favorite is Jarlaxle. And the reason is he's got a fabulous hat. I think it's important when you are adventuring to have a fabulous hat. Maybe just as important as having your 50 feet of hempen rope. It's how people know that you're an adventurer, and it's how you gain that respect. And in order for you to get a fabulous Jarlaxle hat, you can enter the code that you see on your screen right now and get an Electrum chest to help level up your fabulous characters so that you too can conquer all of the obstacles put in front of your champions of the Forgotten Realms. Yay! And of course, D&D Beyond, we love you. You keep things organized in my brain while I'm DMing so that it doesn't fall out the side of my goddamn head. So that's very lovely of you. We appreciate you, D&D Beyond. And Realm Warp Media, who is the publisher for all of the magnificent mythologies that the Foundation for Inclusivity does. In addition, Souls Rolls, who is an amazing creator who helps do all kinds of things from social media to helping you avoid burnout. So go over to soulsrolls.com right now and sign up for half an hour with him. It will change your life. Gemmed Firefly is run by the fabulous Dungeon Glitch, is the official spot for merch for the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming. So if you'd like a mug or a t-shirt that will help out both queer and BIPOC creators, head over there right now. We will do all kinds of cool stuff. And finally, Phoenix Dice. We love you, Phoenix Dice. You are amazing, making fabulous dice for us. I've got like 5 sets at this point because they make me so happy. Oh, and sorry, there's one more. This is really important. Hey, if you like Plain Nerd Allies, if you like the Foundation, if you like Paul or Tom or any of them, please hit the link that Lando's about to pop into our channel and go download Raid Shadow Legends. And I think you have to get to like level 10 or something. And if you do, if we can get 30 people to do that, they will send us a bunch of money. So Raid Shadow Legends, we appreciate you as a sponsor for this channel. We will be doing a full Raid Shadow Legends thing tomorrow on our channel. But if you want to give us a head start, I know I'm going to be giving us a head start tonight as I go and download a fabulous game and then play it for a little bit so that we can get a bunch of money. That'll be fun. That'll be super exciting. So do it. God damn it. Just do it. Or Tom is going to get into the hot tub. And nobody wants that.
It's off screen. It's bubbling away. It could happen at any moment.
But now, who wants to create some fabulous monster classes? Who wants to actually get to play some of these friggin' monsters?
Yeah.
Yeah, might as well.
I've got nothing else to do.
Yeah.
I'm so sorry that you got roped into this and have to spend. I don't feel like the snipers were absolutely necessary, but I feel like maybe it's appropriate. Like just knowing your history, I think maybe it's important. And there's
a sniper in the
Pixie.
hot tub, just pointing a sniper rifle.
What did you say to me?
Sorry.
What did you? Take him out. Take the shot.
I was just going to say, there's a sniper in the hot tub currently, just pointing at me. It's like, I mean, you could get in. I'm like, I'm working. Like, yeah, I know you're working. Yeah.
Sounds like a you kind of problem, doesn't it?
Yeah,
Right,
literally,
right.
It's like, yeah.
Listen, I'm not your therapist. I don't need to know all this. You know?
You're like, yeah, go tell someone who cares. I'm like, oh, wow, okay.
Terrible people. I would like to shout out Pixie, who is easily the most supportive, fabulous person for the stream team. I think Pixie, at this point, has like a personal relationship with every single stream.
Official Pixie merch here. You know?
Oh my God!
Yeah.
I love it. Oh.
Where they were just like, so you wear scarves on stream. Would you like some scarves? I'm like, I would absolutely love some scarves. Also,
yes.
I have like a pause card, which is a penguin that is wearing an official Pixie scarf.
Oh my God.
Penguin. So that's the pause penguin. You don't get to see him very often, but like when someone goes around, I'm like, pause penguin.
One other thing that I do want to shout out is, so I randomly decided on last Wednesday that we are going to make a supplement. So in about 3 weeks, a new Spelljammer supplement is going to be coming out, created by a whole bunch of people over here at PNA, that is going to be all about, for those of you who are old enough to remember Bob Vila, who used to do This Old House, which was like a do-it-yourself, like, here's how to fix your roof, here's how to build a deck, here's how to do your own plumbing, blah, blah, blah. It was a series of books, but it was also a show that you could do. We are doing This Old Spelljammer from the Halfling Hob Villa. He is going to teach you how to create very interesting Spelljammers that are all kinds of fabulous. Instead of just a Spelljammer where you have like you've got a Spelljamming helm and then like a cargo hold, and you're not really sure what else is in there. We've got all kinds of cool things, how to price them out, how to build them, what's required, how to staff them, along with a whole bunch of new fabulous weapons and enchantments that you can put on existing weapons on a Spelljammer that will do all kinds of crazy shit in combat. Like one of my favorites is the Gravity Disruptor that literally changes the gravity plane on your Spelljammer, so everybody suddenly falls into the air. It's stuff like that, or a disjunctive net, where you fire the net at the Spelljammer, and then any spellcasters, including the one using the helm, have to get through like a DC 13, 15, or 17 spellcasting save just to cast a spell. So all kinds of cool shit. And improvements for your Spelljammers, like building a wall of fire that encompasses the entire Spelljamming hall. So if somebody's trying to board you, meh. But fun things that you can put inside. So hey, every Spelljammer needs a bathroom, right? Well, what if you had an auto prestidigitator in there that literally cleaned you and all of your clothes automatically? That would be super useful. Or a makeup table that would do your makeup for you and give you advantage on all of your charisma checks for the rest of the day. Things like that. In addition to, if you're a bounty hunter, you need a jail cell. If you're an aristocrat, you need a rec room. If you are a planar party bus, you need a full tavern in your Spelljammer is what you need. So that's going to be coming out in about 3 weeks, called This Old Spelljammer. And now that we've got through all of the delightfulness, I would like to call out Holly Hammer Art. Thank you for the subscription. That is amazing. You are so cool. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. And now, I think because we have a guest today named Tom, that we should start off creating a Selkie. So I am going to go over here to our whole little thing, our very basic little outline that we've got right here. And I'm gonna put Selkie. So the first thing is, are Selkies are they an established monster in WotC? Is there like a listing for them already?
I'm not sure. I think it might be a homebrew thing, or sort of where people kind of like go, CL, possibly, sort of.
Well, then, the reason I'm asking is because there's a couple things we need to figure out first before we start designing. So first, what size are they more?
I think they are medium. I think they're humanoid. Yeah.
All right. And are they humanoid, or are they a monstrosity, or are they something else?
Well, so this is the thing. A Selkie is my favorite cryptid stuff. So for those of you who don't know, the story would be that they are seals most of the time, floating around in the water, but then they will come up on shore and usually with like a sharp rock, cut themselves open, pull off their skins to reveal a beautiful humanoid. Then they'll have a little dance party, and then they'll go back. But sometimes some sneaky fishermen, they steal that skin, and then the Selkie's like, I want to go home. And he's like, nah, you're never with me, mate. And it never ends up well when that Selkie gets its skin back. So this is the thing. So like, I think it's almost quite fun where you could argue that there's like two different forms. There's a seal form, and then there's the more sort of traditional humanoid. And I think we could have fun deciding how, because like in the myth, it would be like, oh, it's a beautiful woman. But I still like the idea of just having like big seal eyes and like walking, they're like, hello,
Absolutely.
It's me.
I feel like in a myth like this, the way that we want to go about that is we want to create a situation where as you progress through the class, you can transform back and forth between them, but as you get more powerful, you get to keep more attributes from each thing when you're transformed into the other, until eventually you have all of the attributes regardless of what form you're in. So you can just essentially wild shape back and forth between a seal and a person as often as you'd like. I think that that'll be fine for balance because it's a one specific creature. It's not like you can transform into a whole bunch of different things. Just this is the only thing. But I would like to have like some sort of detriment in there where like if your skin is stolen for too long, you can never transform back. It just becomes the actual skin.
Absolutely, I think that's great. And then just that. Just again for like character tragedy where you just find this old skin and then you're like, we don't talk about it. Leave it in the attic.
Yeah. All right. So let's say, what I'm going to do, I'm going to say that this is going to be like a CR5 feature.
So it might be worth noticing that Selkie is actually in a monster manual-ish book already. 45E.
Amazing.
I don't know. It just says sea monsters. That's all it is. I don't know if it's how official it is, but it's on. It's in the SRD, so we can use it obviously, and they rate it as a CR6.
A CR6. Okay. Is there? So if I go to D&D Beyond and I type in Selkie,
I don't know if it's in there, but it's somewhere.
It exists.
It is not in D&D Beyond. There we go.
Okay.
All right, cool. So we've got, so if it is CR6, so what I'd like to do is I would like to first just on level, I'm going to get rid of everything from level 7 onward up to level 20. Because this is going to be, the way this is going to work is this will be a 6th level class, and then you will multi-class into your next thing. So then you can choose whatever it is that you're going to be, whether you're going to be like a druid that then expands their wild shape abilities, or if you're going to be a rogue that likes to swim up to castles and then like climb up and sneak in from the water,
I'm just loving a rogue as a seal just scrambling up a wall being like,
yeah,
hey
absolutely.
Guys.
or if you want to be like, I would love a Selkie barbarian that like literally just like goes up to somebody, like picks them up with their nose and then slaps them with their fin. I think that would be super delightful. So what I'd like to do is I'd like to go through and so it's a medium humanoid and beast. What I'd like to do is I'm just going to put everything in level 1 right now. And what we can do is you can go through the monster listing and we'll pick out the things that are going to be important to include in the monster class. So the first thing is, do they have a natural AC?
Armor class, 15, natural armor.
Fabulous. All right, so they got AC 15. Do they have, what stats do they have above a +3 bonus in?
Above a +3 is charisma at 19.
Very nice.
Wow. Oh, and strength. Sorry, I misread that. Strength is +4.
Okay, so is that an 18 strength?
Yes, it is. Sorry, yes.
All right, so we've got strength of 18 and charisma of 19. All right, let's go down and see what else we've got with the Selkie.
So dexterity is 17 +3. Constitution is 14 +2. Intelligence is 13 +1. And wisdom is 14 +2.
Wow.
And let's keep going down the monsters and let's just see sort of as we go through which things we need to include, make sure that are going to be included in this class.
They've actually got quite a bit. It's quite a long list. So saving throws, dexterity +6, charisma +7. Skill proficiencies are athletics, deception, insight, perception, and stealth.
Wow.
Okay, so let's see. So
how stealthy could it be? But apparently, like, what?
Because you don't expect a seal to suddenly turn up and go, hello, you are seen. You're like, oh, God, no.
Oh, my God. Well, seals actually have been known to be somewhat of stealth hunters. Like, they will actually, like, hide in, like, kelp forests and then, like, lash out at their prey. There's an amazing video, actually, of a seal completely escaping an entire pod of killer whales by swimming around to the other side of a tiny little iceberg. Like it literally was like like about their own size, and they just kept like dodging to the other side of it.
Jesus.
And then the killer whales wouldn't know what to do, and they would climb on top, and the killer whales would try to like knock it off, and it would jump pick it up, like, and survived until the killer whales literally just lost interest and went away. I'm like, there we go. So I'm here for it. I'm here for seal shenanigans. All right, so we've got athletics,
Deception, insight, perception, and stealth.
all right, fabulous. What's next?
It has damage resistance to cold, which makes sense.
Okay, so it is resistance, I can type resist,
Yeah, but
cold.
Senses, it's got dark vision to 60 feet, and passive perception is 15.
Okay,
Its languages are Aquan and Common.
fabulous.
And then challenge rating is 6.
Okay.
So then we go on to special traits, which is hold breath. The Selkie can hold its breath for 1 hour.
Good.
Echo of reason. The Selkie has advantage on charisma checks made when talking or singing.
Oh, I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna just give that just charisma in general. I think as a player monster.
Yeah.
Advantage on charisma, fabulous.
I'm picturing your makeup table from earlier. It's just Seal with like big eyes. It's like, hello, I'm very cute. You're like, oh, you are though, aren't you?
You are very cute, and with a little mascara, like
A little blush.
What color blush does a seal use, really?
Well, gray, aren't they? Just sort of
Gray.
I feel like it would be like a very sort of silvery dusting of shine. It's just like the light hits it just right.
And then when they become humanoid, it just becomes extreme, which is like huge. Like, hello.
You're a horror clown. Horror clown.
This looks good when I'm a seal, I promise.
I am like, as somebody that did a lot of stage performance, like there was like you definitely look like a goddamn clown when you get down off that stage, but you look amazing under those lights. Cheekbones for days. All right, so we've got advantage on charisma. What else do we have?
That was Echo Reason. Magic resistance. The Selkie has advantage on saving throws against spells and other magical effects. Shiny.
That's really, I mean, that's intense. That's super useful just in general. Like it's one of the most underrated monster powers because it just means that so often your spells just have no effect at all. You know, like, especially when it comes to like enchantment or transmutation spells. It's just, nope, goodbye.
Then we have Selkie Cloth.
Okay.
Those who hold the cloth can control the Selkie as if it were charmed by the bearer of the cloth. Selkies can regenerate a destroyed cloth at the next full moon, or after 21 days in the absence of a lunar cycle.
Oh, wow.
I almost thought that meant after 21 days in the absence of a moon, but it probably just means if a DM hasn't done a lunar cycle.
Oh, yeah, there we go.
So the moon got blown up, so you're kind of screwed.
So
right?
the moon's
Sometimes
gone.
it happens.
The moon's an egg.
Yeah, I was literally about to say.
It's a thing.
How does that affect me? It affects everyone, no, but how does it affect me?
But me specifically.
Yeah.
I know the tides are going in and out differently now, and like the tsunamis, but me.
I need a new skin, goddammit.
Yeah. I've got to wait 3 weeks now, okay? That wasn't where I was going with this.
I've got to sit in this goddamn hot tub for 3 weeks.
Which is like your eyes showing above the water and just staring. Can I help you?
No.
I'm having a real long bath.
All right, anything else from the Selkie?
That's it for special traits, but it now has actions, apparently.
Ooh.
Yep.
Yeah. So it's got multi-attack. The Selkie makes 2 melee attacks, one of which can be its bite. If it's in its true form, can be its bite if it's in its true form. In seal form, it can make 2 bite attacks. The punctuation on this is terrible. It's just full stops. There's no commas at all.
Oh, well, that's fun. We'll put in commas, I promise.
Speaking of its bite, melee weapon attack +7 to hit. All right. Reach is 5 feet, 1 target, and it does 1d10 +4 piercing damage.
So does that include, is that plus just its proficiency bonus plus its strength? Is its proficiency bonus 3?
Yeah.
Okay.
It does not say.
So this is one of the things when you're developing stuff like this is it's really important to, if you can assume that it's just strength and proficiency, because at 6th level, like a person would have a +3 proficiency bonus. So you just assume that +7 is just strength and proficiency. So we wouldn't need to add any bonuses. It would just be based on, they would be proficient with this weapon.
Yeah.
All right, so their bite, what damage does it do?
Piercing damage. Nom nom nom.
And what's its base damage?
It hit 9, or like I said, 1d10 +4.
1d10. So the +4 comes with strength, so it's a 1d10. All right, so that's significant for just, so every round you can do 2d10 damage to someone.
If you're in seal form, yes.
Sure. And then what's the other action? Does the bite have any special effects?
Nope.
It's just being bitten by a seal, which isn't nice. It's so undignified. You're like, hit that vampire, you're like, sure did.
I feel like there should be like a charisma saving throw, or you just feel shame about being bitten by a seal for like one lunar cycle.
It's like, what you gonna do? This little sausage, just like, hey, waddling on its tummy again. Come back.
All right. What other actions do we have?
So it's got a dagger, but I don't know if you want to include that in its class, so to speak.
Yeah.
It's just a dagger. Next one then, claws. Ranged weapon. +7 to hit.
Did you say ranged weapon?
Ranged weapon attack. Although it still says 5 feet, so...
That is not a ranged weapon. I mean, unless they're shooting their damn claws. Are they holding their fingers like a gun and going, pew, pew?
I can only assume it's for when you have, like, resilience to a ranged weapon attack. It wants you to have resilience to this.
I don't.
But then a monk can catch any ranged weapon attack, so he's not going to catch a claw, is it? Fire it back.
Catch these claws.
Yeah.
I love this. Okay, I'm going to get back in the chat a little bit and see what's going on. Pixie absolutely seals her goth. 100%. Like, absolutely, yes, I'm here for this. Hey, Queen's Court, welcome. Thank you for the follow, Warframelight. That is awesome. There's, I am seeing a lot of stuff. Rule 1, don't rage. Yeah, absolutely. No, that would be terrible. That would be terrible in this situation. I think that, for everybody in chat currently, if you would like to affect how this class ends up, you can, in fact, affect this on our donation table. For $5, that's a thank you from us. We appreciate your support. For $10, you get to pick one of us and we will tell you the most embarrassing way that we can think of to be killed by a Selkie currently, or as we progress, one of the other creatures. There is, for $20, we will add a fun little sideboard that is a delightful little anecdote about a Selkie. For $50, we will give them a brand new, fabulous original attack. And for $100, we will develop a full extra subclass for these guys. So if you'd like to support us and help us do all kinds of fun and fabulous things, then delightful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Now, back to Selkies.
So yeah, claws, I don't know, ranged weapon attack.
I refuse to put that on.
I
won't do
gonna
it.
spit?
Right.
+7 to hit, proficiency in strength, reach 5 feet.
Well, hold on, this is different. Oh, because they say range, so do they want you to use dexterity? No, they're asking you to do strength because the dexterity plus would be different. So yeah, all right.
Yeah.
So what kind of damage is it?
I don't know, I've lost it. 1d8 +4 slashing damage.
Okay, so it's slashing, and these are 1d8. 1d8. Fabulous. So is there anything special about the claws?
Apart from the fact that you can apparently throw them, no.
Like,
You reckon
I
that's
feel
what
like
it means by like, you want to
it's
throw
like
hands?
fingernail
Let's throw
trimming.
hands.
Like you have like your nail clippers, and you just clip your nails at people.
Or how horrific when you turn back into a humanoid and you just like your fingernail, like, ow!
Oh my God!
Owie! Taking it out of the body and going, I'm saving this for later. I'm putting that back on.
Give it back.
I need that back. No, don't run away.
No.
Boss,
Please
run
come
off my
back.
fingernails.
Who's the real monster here? So, anything else? Any other fun actions that they can take?
Yeah, we've got 2 more actions actually. We've got Charming Song. The Selkie
Ooh.
sings a charming song, and when it does, it can target one creature who must make a DC 15 Charisma saving throw. On a failure, the creature is charmed for 1 minute. As a bonus action, the Selkie can instruct a charmed creature to use its movement or to enter or swim to the center of the nearest body of water. Irregardless, I presume it means, because regardless doesn't make sense, irregardless of any danger. Charmed creatures can attempt a new saving throw at the end of each of their turns. If a creature's saving throw is successful, or the effect ends for it, the creature is immune to the Selkie's charming song for 24 hours.
Okay, so you send them out there to just be stabbed by all the Selkies' friends. So you send them into the lake and they get eaten by seals.
I just
Effectively, yeah.
Yeah. You sing a song, you're like, get in the sea. What? Get in the sea. You're like,
Just
So
imagine,
the
like, in the
Selkies
middle of
sing
a,
the original sea shanties, obviously.
in the middle of a dungeon, like, what is a body of water? Is a glass of water a body of water? Is a
I
puddle?
don't.
Just start
Oh, God.
walking towards a wall, or do they have to go around walls?
I feel like we can make this a situation where you are not actually going after a body of water. That this just is a charm.
Yeah. Alright.
I feel like we can definitely simplify that a bit. All right.
I do
what
love
is
it for the
final
chaos,
action?
though, of trying to have to go, okay, we are literally like in the astral sea. Like, that's the thing where the person has like an innate knowledge where the water is. You're like, oh, we'll
Yeah.
just follow him.
Yeah. Oh, could you imagine that? We need to find the nearest port or something, or like get a boat.
Absolutely. Or like the nearest decanter of endless water, like it's just
You do it to a giant, and then you like strap yourself onto its back, and you're like, go that way. And you're like, come on, guys, we're going to the sea.
Beach
And that's the last we saw
episode.
of the
Beach
Selkie.
episode.
Yeah.
perfect. All right. What?
Its final action is its shape change. The Selkie magically polymorphs into a small or medium female humanoid, the shape of a seal, or back to its true form. Its statistics are the same in each form. Any equipment it is wearing or carrying is not transformed. It reverts to its true form if it dies.
So its true form as a seal.
According to this, its true form is more like a mermaid.
Okay.
It could turn into a seal or a human or a mermaid.
Or a
You
seal.
can choose how much of
seal
its body
made.
is fish, basically.
Mermaid with a seal head.
Yeah.
You must
Perfect.
inform me if you're seduced. Come over to my rocks.
Oh my god. Gross.
Oi, don't say that to the Selkie. You're like, gross. It's like, oh. It just gets really sad and like slips off the rock and then just sort of swims off. You're like, I'm sorry.
Why don't you like me?
I'm trying so hard.
Right.
Yeah, I think this one's
I
obviously
put on
kind
my
of like
makeup.
yeah, just the giant like I tried to. I even went to the makeup person. Yeah.
So this does have a description of its natural form. A Selkie has webbed, clawed hands and a muscular trunk ending in broad flippers. What?
The trunk.
So it's a seal.
What? Okay. A Selkie's head is a blend of human and seal with large eyes and a mouth full of curved teeth. Selkie's coats range from chestnut brown to slate, dappled with darker spots of grey. Male Selkies grow to a length of 6.5 feet, but can weigh up to 300 pounds. Because of the extra fat, the creatures need to survive in colder climates.
So they're jolly, is what you're saying.
Yeah. Females are slightly shorter and slimmer, so Selkies typically live to 75 years.
Wow.
Okay. All right. Great. Well, delightful.
I'm just stuck on has a large trunk that ends in a flipper because a trunk to me is what is a nose.
Yeah. Same.
And then
It's
ends
just
in a flipper like some form of
Yeah,
deformed
no,
elephant.
trunk, thorax, I think is what they're referring to. There's,
Just-
yeah.
to add that in at the last moment, like, by the way, they have a trunk. You're like, beg your pardon?
Yeah, what?
They slap people around with their finny trunk.
Well, there are
Yeah,
seals that have
absolutely.
like long nose, kind of looks a bit like they have trunks. So maybe it's one of those. You're
Well,
like,
there are
hey,
elephant
guys.
seals. There
Yes,
could absolutely be elephant selkies, you know.
Technically, I'm a loxodon. You're like, oh, that's fun.
Oh, interesting. That would be fair. Oh my god, it would be. It would be half seal, half loxodon. That makes me so happy. Oh my god.
If we get the thing for like subclass or like just split it off, you're like, you can turn into a humanoid
Yep.
or you can turn into a loxodon. Just be big, like, hey guys, I'm here to see the king.
Oh my god. All right, so now what we need to figure out is within 6 levels when to give them the different things so that they'll sort of match up with their compatriots, right? Now, understand that they'll get the same things that they will be getting for that everybody gets. So, like at level 4, they will get a feat, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So let's start with level 5. I think that's where we get multi-attack. Like you do. Before that, you don't get multi-attack. And I will take it off of this.
Is that with the claws, or is that do you get the bite as well? Yeah, I leveled up and realized I could bite people.
I've discovered my teeth.
I'm gonna say
these
that
hurt.
so it would be most common
No
for
more losing my fingernails.
right. I think it would be very interesting to go like to develop things. So like level 1, you don't actually have like a natural attack. Level 2, you learn to use, so you have fists, you have an unarmed strike, right? Then level 2, you learn to use your actual claws, regardless of the form you're in, and that gives you a 1d8 attack. And then at like level, I would say at level 3, you could get the bite attack, that 1d10, that would sort of track with damage scaling for other classes, that would be fine. Are we good with that?
I like.
Is it getting? It's like, is it getting changed shape at level 1? Because
So
it makes
I think
sense.
I think that should be something that is also developed over the course of 6. So, for instance, we could start that with you have the ability to. What I'd like its true form not to be a hybrid form, but to be the seal itself.
That's fine.
Right? Or because most adventures don't take place at sea, why don't we make their true form the humanoid form? And then at the beginning, you can transform into the seal for like 1 hour a day, something like that, right? And by 6th level, then you can just switch back and forth. That's when you'll actually get the full action of switching back and forth at will.
I wonder if there's a thing you could do with it's like if you spend long, it's basically Animorphs rules. If you spend too long in that other form, you don't turn back, and you're just having to accept that you are now a seal, and you like all the human stuff sort of like floats away, and you're just happy. You're just a happy little seal.
Yeah, absolutely. I do like that. There's and we can say that like your true form is actually a humanoid with a Selkie skin. And you can wrap yourself in the Selkie skin for like an hour a day. And that way you still have the thing where if somebody steals this from you, then they can charm.
Yeah. I liked that. I think that's a really nice thing. And again, for plot reasons, where you're just like, someone stole my skin. You're like, what?
What?
We need to go. We need to go now. Someone has my skin.
The difficulty I have with it being a human from level 1 and not getting shape change till level 6, nothing.
So the shape change is going to develop.
Okay. Oh right, it's going to get stronger.
Yeah. So that way you're not outpacing everyone else in the party. Like if you were able to turn into for instance, seal just from level 1, that is a pretty major ability that is like a core component of like the druidic class.
Yeah.
So we've got Selkie skin. I want to give the detriment from level 1. So if somebody grabs your skin, you're fucked. There is. So let's get rid of that here. We have moved that now. Selkie skin, and let's say you do have unarmed strike, but it'll be 1d4 at level 1. I definitely want to give hold breath at level 1. I think that's totally fine
for an hour, which I think's amazing.
Yeah.
you just, like if you hadn't quite clicked what you are, and you're just like, yeah, I could just hold my breath for an hour, and like,
that's
what?
fine. It's fine.
Everyone else just starts questioning it. Like, that's a bit weird. The record is 3 minutes.
Yeah. Or like the thing you're saying, like you're just in the bathtub, and you're like, and just comes out, and you're like, hi. You're like, you've been in there for like half an hour. You're like, it's great. I just hang out in the hot tub at the bottom and just lie there.
This trunk's getting a bit weird, I will admit. But
all right. So with strength, we've got a +4, and charisma, we've got a +4 as well. What I would like to do is because the charisma's higher, I would like with this class to give a total of 5 ability point adjustments.
Okay.
So like at level 1, you get one addition to your charisma. At level 2, you get 1 to your strength. Level 3, another charisma. Level 4, another strength. Level 5, another charisma. So that by the end of this class, you've got +3 in charisma and +2 in strength.
Yeah.
Okay.
Are you thinking that as you level up, it's transformative to you as the person? Do you become more seal-like in your actual form? Because like we're saying about like the claws and the teeth, it's like, yeah, you hit level 3, you realize your teeth have changed.
Yeah.
You've got curved teeth, and you're like, this is fine. This is nice.
I actually really like that sort of concept. There is, I'm going to add below level 6. So let's see. Starting at level 1, there is an understanding that the Selkie is quickly becoming more beast than person. As the Selkie levels up to level 6, its natural form will transition from humanoid to beast. Initially, they will only be able to spend a little time each day as a seal, but by the end, the seal becomes their true form and they can transform into a humanoid shape at will. There we go. Yes. So you, I like that there's like a story. There's an arc even to your level progression that these things are happening. So we'll do. All right. So we'll do +1 to charisma. Level 2 +1 to strength. Level 3 +1 to charisma. Level 4 +1 to strength. And level 5 is +1 to charisma. All right, fabulous. There we go. All right, there we go. We've got that. Cool. So we've got our pluses. Now, let's look at your natural armor. As you are transforming from a person to a seal, what's their dexterity?
Dex is 17 +3.
It's 17, so +3. So you do get a +2 to your natural armor eventually. I think I'd like to try to sort of set it up so that aside from the pluses to your attributes, that each level you get at least 2 cool things, and that's sort of going to be the difficulty of how you actually are transforming. So for your AC, I think I'd like to keep those at higher levels as you become more and more seal. So let's do +1 AC at 6, and let's do +1 AC let's do it at 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're sort of like not hardening, but your skin becomes tougher and more sort of speckled and grey, and you're just like, this is fine.
Yeah, it's fine. I'm cool. I'm cool with this. Everything's great.
I'm loving it, like pitching other like say like a Kenku or something, where you're like, I appear to be turning into a seal. You're like, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry.
See, Kenku would be awkward because it couldn't even tell you it was turning into a seal unless it heard somebody else tell you it was turning you into a seal.
Well, now don't forget that has been changed now. That's no longer canon. That was changed in Monsters of the Multiverse in the new races. So now Kenkus can speak on their own, but the vast majority of people love that mechanic.
Yeah.
So now most people are keeping the legacy Kenku.
Yeah, it was super unique. What the hell?
I also just love the idea of going, oh, this is really weird. Someone stole the king's seal. Seal, 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 seal. Like,
oh my God.
You okay?
That's the point. Does it allow for different words? It must do.
Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
All right. I love that. Okay, so we've got those. I do want to give them one skill, which is athletics, and how many skills do you normally get with a typical class? You normally get between 2 and 4, right? Like rogues will get a full 4. Most people get 2.
Yeah.
So I think I'd actually like to give them proficiency in, because it talks about their song so much, I think proficiency performance would be good, and athletics, because you're constantly swimming around. I think at the beginning. So at the beginning, you've got your detriment, your selfie skin. You've got your unarmed strike. You can hold your breath. You get a +1 to your charisma. You get a performance and athletics to start. Oh, and dark vision. I don't know that needs to develop. Cool. Dark vision, passive perception. We don't need to put in passive perception because that will be dependent on how you actually set up your own thing. We can say that you do get languages, Aquan and Common. Languages, Aquan and Common at the beginning. Cool. And let's see, now, we've said you get unarmed strike there. Let's give you claws at level 2. Claw attack, 1d8 slashing. And I think let's wait till level 4 to give the bite attack.
Yeah.
Bite, 1d10. Cool. We've got that. So we've got bite and claws now, developing your fabulous seal delightfulness. All right, so at level 1, let's see,
just nibbling on someone. You're like, you wait 2 more levels, and I'm going really.
I will get you.
Tomorrow I could do this twice, but right now I can only do it once.
Transform into a seal for 1 hour at level 1. At level 6, shape change from seal to humanoid at will using in this I want to say using a bonus action because that just makes it more fabulous and more powerful.
Just bamf. You're like, boom.
Yeah.
Surprise! I was a seal the entire time. You're like, yeah, you've got like grey mottled skin and we know.
That explains so much.
So we've got transform into a seal for 1 hour. Let's do at level 2. How long should it be at level 2?
Well, I think like an hour at level 1 is possibly too long. Like, bear in mind, combat is supposed to be like, even if we say 10 minutes, because it's 6 seconds per person.
Yeah.
There's nothing you're going to do as a seal for an hour.
I suppose that's more out of combat, like traveling or like diving down. But yeah,
sure.
An hour's quite.
We can make like that like a minute.
Yeah.
And then level 2 we could make transform into a seal for 10 minutes.
I'm just picturing the way this works, where you're like, okay, you're in the skin for like a minute, and suddenly it like spits you out. You're like, surprise!
Sucks to be you, doesn't it?
That's actually quite idea. Like it's like the skin's like rejecting you. And it's like, that's quite an interesting. Like rather than being a completely natural thing, it's like it needs to get like attunement a bit, where it's like, Or as I said, Animorphs rules. Like you could just be a seal for the rest of your life. That's an option.
So all right, so by level 3 then you can do it for an hour a day. At level 2 you can do it for 1 minute 3 times a day. At level 3 you get an hour a day. Then at level 4,
does it have to go up on every level? Could you not just leave it for an hour a day until level 6?
Sure, but what I'd like to do is I'd like to then be have like at level 4, you transition into more of a seal situation so that it follows that arc.
Okay.
Where then you're transforming back into a humanoid. So it'll be like, you can like you're normally a seal, but you can transform back into a humanoid for like 1 hour per level.
Yeah.
Sort of like wild shape once per day. Maybe, let's see. We could keep that going till 5. I'm just trying how to create that arc in an impactful way that isn't going to destroy their gameplay, being like, oh, I only get to turn into a human for a couple hours a day, and then my friends have to carry me around.
I am imagining like a pudgy round seal that's just having to be carried, yay!
No, I think, that makes sense. That makes sense. I think we could hold off then if we're going to go that route, where it's shape change from seal to humanoid will using a bonus action.
Yeah.
That'll work. Okay, so we've got that. So we've got our shape change taken care of. Next, let's not fuck that up. Next, all right, so we've got attacks, we've got shape change. The things now are going to be like that are big are giving somebody a full resistance to an entire element, giving them advantage on charisma checks, resistance to magic, and the charming song. Which essentially, how often can they do that charming song? Is that just an action?
Charming song. Yes, unless someone succeeds against it and then they can't do it to that person for 24 hours.
Right. Oh my god. That is crazy. All right,
just
so
the fact you do it and you're like, no, I don't like your song. You're like, oh.
I'm not interested in this.
I have no desire to go find a large body of water.
Yeah.
I can hear it sounds like a beautiful song, but it's like, get in the sea. I can hear that. And you're like, oh.
Just keep swimming.
Okay, so I think, let's see, we've got first level, there's plenty. At 4th level, there's not a whole lot. Why don't
the resistances, maybe? Yeah, sort of, because those are powerful.
Yeah, I think the cold we could probably do at 4th level. Resistance to cold as you're developing more and more into a seal.
Yeah.
Then we have got advantage on charisma checks. Let's see. I'd actually like that to be a little earlier than later. I want to put that at level 2.
So that's charisma for... Is that... that's charisma in total, we decided.
Yeah.
I think that, that's quite fun for like level 2, where you're like, suddenly actually you kind of got a better understanding of...
Yeah, you get to be the face. You get to be the face of the party, and that face is a seal. Yeah. There you go.
With the eyeshadow and the big eyes.
Yeah.
You're like, how about you steal this? And you're just like, no.
No.
No. You can't make me. You're like, all right.
I love it. All right. Do we want to make the charming song the capstone ability at level 6? Or do we want to make the resistance to magic the capstone ability?
Ooh. I think resistance to magic's really powerful. I think that might be. Yeah. And I like the song coming earlier, because I think for like role play that's fun to have early, where you're just like, I'm going to sing for you. Or in combat you're like, how about I sing him a song? You're like, how about you don't?
How about you do something useful? Like, oh.
Just slowly lifts up her claws. You're like, sure.
Bard is there like, you know what? A song is a really good idea, actually. I like it.
We should duet.
Yeah. Oh, can I imagine a Bard
fabulous.
playing this? Jesus Christ.
Let's see what we've got now. All right, so we've got a Selkie. let's look at this class. Let's look at this monster class that you can play. So you're starting out and you have the Selkie skin where if somebody grabs your skin, they essentially have you charmed until you get your skin back. You get an unarmed strike that isn't super powerful, but for first level, it should be fine. You can hold your breath. You get extra charisma. You get proficiency with performance and athletics because you love to sing and you love to swim. You've got your dark vision. You can speak Aquan and Common, and you can transform into a seal for 1 minute once per day. How does that feel as like a first level character, like a first level class?
Yeah.
I seem to, yeah.
I feel like it is. It actually feels a little underpowered for first level.
Possibly.
The reason being that, like, if you look, for instance, at Druid, you could transform into beasts twice a day. You would have because this essentially would be the monster race would be a blank template where everything is just a 10 across the board. And then you get like bonuses or detriments in the class levels to sort of take you where you're supposed to go. For that, maybe that's what we need to do instead. So we need to pick the ones that are really sort of out of the mainstream. No, that would be too overpowered.
I'll go for it. Just make them ridiculously OP.
Right. Just FYI, everyone, we are starting this out. We are learning the new and unique things that we're going to be doing with this as we speak. So this would be, because this is going to be both a race and a class, I think it's going to need to include enough stuff that it will be able to keep up with other classes at first level.
Yes. And also, as we said, this is very water-based at the moment. Just still have enough that kind of keeps us.
So I think...
Create water. You just open your coat and just water comes pouring out. You're like, there you go, got that from the ocean.
Now walk towards it.
Yeah, get in it. Get in the pond.
Let's give them Charming Song at first level.
Okay.
I think that's quite sweet. Yeah.
That's super useful. That I think would balance things out. Charming Song, and it's a spell DC. There is, I know it would be Charisma DC. Charisma DC. All right, I think with that puts them in a situation where, like the charm, they can be amazing at combat control. They can be super good at that. But because it's a charm, people know when you're doing it to them. So they probably wouldn't want to use it all the time on like shopkeepers and shit.
A shopkeeper. All right, mate. Can we bargain? Go towards that pond over there. Don't question it. I'll look after the shop. It's fine.
There's a story I love about someone who was saying, like, the worst thing I think I've ever done is I was at a dinner party with my wife, who's very shy, and we finished and we went, that was a really delightful meal. My wife is so appreciative, she'd like to sing you a song. and just watch this poor woman just go pale and everyone go, it's not funny. But I love it as a cultural thing. Like, if you were just like, you're like, that was great, I would like to sing you a song. You're like, I'd rather you didn't. Get in the pond. Get in the pond.
It might also be worth mentioning it's got 20 feet of walking speed and 50 feet of swimming speed.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Let's give it some swimming speed.
I like that it's 20 because it's just like waddling along.
It's hard.
Again, just flapping on its tummy, just going, hello. Hey, guys.
All right, let me see. So at first level,
it's like really
now
beautiful.
I feel like, yes, I think now definitely is, we're good. I think we're good at first level. We've got a bunch of cool stuff that you can do. You will be useful in combat with your unarmed strikes, and I gave them the +2 dex at first level. So they get +1 charisma, +2 dex to help them avoid a little bit of damage. And then they increase their strength and charisma every level after that. All right, so level 2, you get a 1d8 claw attack, which is great. +1 to your strength. Transform into a seal more often. And now you have advantage on your charisma checks, which means your song gets more powerful.
Nice.
So that's still, I think that's a nice little like sort of second level bump without getting too out of control. You would probably be a little more powerful than some of your compatriots at that point, but not so much so that it would unbalance the party.
No. And I think we've got the constant thing about the skin, where you're like, that's your huge.
Yeah.
If they could grapple you and pull this,
Yeah.
I suppose if it has to be like you, I don't know if that comes into armor or something, where you need to be wearing this at all times. Someone just comes, grapples, pulls the skin off, you're like.
You know what it is? So I'm going to say Selkie skin. This is an armor that must be worn. You cannot wear other armor.
I think that's really.
But
yeah.
So I think now what we're doing is like sort of the base, sort of the Selkies are becoming sort of monkish to me.
Yeah.
That's sort of where they're existing. You cannot wear other armor, but if you are wearing your skin or no armor, you gain a bonus to your AC equal to your charisma bonus.
Ooh, nice.
I think that way that solves a couple of problems. Then we can get rid of the plus to the AC. We don't need to deal with that anymore. And now, all right, cool. So we've got that, delightful. So I think that's super fun. It's a reason that you have to keep it with you at all times. And I'm gonna say if you're wearing your skin, just if you're wearing your skin, not no armor. Just if you're wearing your skin, you gain a bonus to your AC equal to your charisma bonus. So that is a reason for you to keep it with you at all times. You've got your unarmed strike, you've got your charming song. At second level, your charming strong gets better. And you gain, and your attacks get a little stronger with your +1 to strength, and your 1d8 slashing with your claws now. So that's super fun. At level 3, you can now transform into a seal 1 hour a day, but we got rid of the other things. So now it's feeling a little, we're not really getting anything here.
Okay, so something else. Like, what haven't we covered? So we've got attacks, we've got armor, something else that kind of. Is it like, this might not be great, but it's like speak to animals, but if they're aquatic, so like, you're like, I can just talk to fish now. I've got Aquaman powers.
Well, that's what Aquan is, effectively.
Yeah.
You what?
Aquan, it can speak Aquan, is that not?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's not speaking to animals. That's speaking to water elementals.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Aquan is one of the 4 elemental languages. So there's so a lot of creatures who speak under the sea can speak Aquan, in addition to other things they speak. Like Tritons normally get to speak Aquan, things like that. But if it's just an animal, it doesn't actually talk, then it can't.
Oh, okay.
Sadly, yeah. So that's how that
just
works.
talk to whales. You're just like,
well,
hello.
Thank you for the follow. Here's an adventure. Welcome in. I see that Tom is begging people not to pull their actual skin off. I agree. That would be rude.
It's
in general.
In battle, someone just pulls off your actual skin and go, I own you now. And you're like, oh, that's horrible.
I mean, if someone came and pulled my skin off, I would be like, yes, whatever you want. Just whatever. Real sorry.
I'd be like, ow, that hurt. That was a bit unnecessary.
But it just myth, you're like, it's like, ha, you're my wife now. You're like, what? No.
Ooh, you know what we could give them with the charming song? Now the charming song can affect up to your charisma bonus number of creatures.
I am getting concerned how much we're relying on your charisma bonus, because by level 6, I think it's got a +5 to charisma.
They're very charming.
I know, but if we're tying that to armor...
Okay, is it something else? Strength? Something... What's fun?
Well, what else would be... let's see. Oh, you know what we can do? Your charming song can be a bonus action.
Okay, that's not... Yeah,
and that way you can do that and you can attack somebody, but it means that you can't attack the same person. Because as soon as you attack them, the charm's gone.
It breaks.
You're just
so that essentially gives you...
Get in the pond. Get in the pond.
Like, I feel like it's waving a beach towel at somebody and being like, the ocean sounds great. I'm gonna murder your friend now. Go have a Mai Tai.
It's just one beach. Just people turn up and they're like, why am I here? And they're like, good to see you. Welcome to Selkie Sands. Pull up a deck chair. We'll be with you shortly.
Oh my god.
It's just still behind the bar. Just going
now to be like, go to Selkie Sands and tip your bartender 50%. Like they get kickbacks from everybody they send.
It's like a water park. It's just really chill. You're like,
I love it.
Why is there a beholder here? You're like, it failed the charisma roll. It's just, everyone's having a really lovely time.
That's right. Damn it. Okay, so charming song is now a bonus action. Yeah, no, I agree. We're doing a lot of charisma stuff.
I'm just thinking, like, if you took a couple of levels in Bard after this, your charisma is going to be like +8, which is a lot of armor for a seal.
That's true.
They are
That's
chunky
true.
balls.
Why don't we? All right, then let's do bonus. So if we're doing bonus to your AC.
Could be half your charisma bonus rounded up. There's other things that do that.
Yeah. But I'm wondering if, you know what? I'm going to shift this. So an armor that must be worn, you cannot wear other armor, and then shift this to a higher level, maybe like level 4, where then you get a bonus. So this is where you start like really turning into a seal. And this is where you'll start getting that bonus. So gain a bonus to your AC equal to 1/2 your charisma bonus rounded. I'm going to say rounded down because then like most people maximum you'll get +2, which is what we were aiming at before.
Okay.
Yeah.
Equal to half your charisma bonus rounded down when you are wearing your Selkie skin. Right, cool. There we go. So I feel like that gives us a nice little boost at level 4 to your AC, and you gain resistance to cold. At level 3, you now have a bonus action attack that you can use every round. We're definitely, when we sort of flesh this out, we're going to have to create some rules for charming songs so that people, like, maybe that this is like a bonus action, but you have to maintain concentration on it, you know, something like that, so that essentially if somebody breaks free, you can do it every round at them and still be viable in combat, you know. Or you can switch it up to somebody new, you know, have somebody go running off to the beach, let them go, and while they're trying to run back to you to attack you, you get the next person and get them to run away.
I like the idea you're singing, and then they sort of run up, and then you just like turn and point to the next person, make eye contact, and keep singing. I'm like, oh, the beach does sound great. You're like, yeah, it does, keep going.
Everyone loves a Mai Tai. Great, we've got, all right, so that gives you AC bonus level 4, a new action at level 3. At level 5, you get your multi-attack and your bonus to charisma. I feel like multi-attack is generally plenty to give someone in a round. or in a level. You know, that you are doubling your damage output, you're good there. And then at level 6, you can shape change as a bonus action, and you get resistance to magic. So I think that's solid for level 6. Like, that resistance to magic thing is crazy. That is super powerful. So how do we feel about this as a 6th level class? Because then you could pick any other class that you want to and do 14 levels on top of this. So like, if you're a wizard, you wouldn't be able to get to like the 9th level spells, things like that. But at 14 levels, most other classes, you'll be able to get all the fun subclass bonuses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Are we making it clear that it can only bite and claw in its seal form? Because I don't want a human to bite me.
But the human
claw
version
at me,
does have,
for that
like,
matter.
the human, has claws
Yeah.
and like teeth now.
But it can throw, apparently.
I feel like that's legit. We can definitely put that in as we sort of flesh that out. Make sure that that's the thing that happens, so that at 6th level, you can choose to, as your bonus action, transform into a seal, bite the shit out of someone, and then the next round pop back into human form. Be like, what?
Oh, that wasn't me. That was the seal.
How dare you? How dare you accuse me of such a terrible thing?
I just wanted to make us aware that at level 6, as a bonus action, we can either sing or shape change. Are we okay with that?
Yeah. One of the reasons that I wanted to do that is because you only get one bonus action in a round, so at that point you'll have to choose.
Yeah.
So you can't use both.
I'll sing at you next turn. You left yourself.
I'm a seal now. You ain't ready.
Like, the bandits are like, that seal's going to start singing, and they're like, what? They're like, trust me. I've run into these guys before. When it starts singing, just cover your ears.
Yeah,
saying that, I know it says Charming Song is now a bonus action. Can you perform a bonus action as an action?
Well, so bonus actions, reactions, and actions are all considered actions.
So at level 6, you could shape change and then sing.
Oh no, sorry, I misunderstood the question. You cannot do 2 bonus actions in 1 round.
Okay.
It's sort of like you cannot cast 2 leveled spells in 1 round.
Right.
You know, even if like one of them is quickened or something like that.
Yeah.
I know we're not doing this. I had an image of it being a reaction.
You know what I just realized?
Someone hits you like, ah!
Is there no music? Has there been no music this whole time? Or
I had music at some point because I wanted to turn it off.
I can hear music.
Oh, is there? You do? Okay, good. Just as long as there.
It's faint as anything, but yeah, there is.
Having worked in restaurants forever, knowing that like when the music stops, it is just like death.
Deafening.
You're like, oh god, what am I supposed to do? There's no sound in the background. Oh shit. Just want to make sure. Just checking. All right, Tom, how do you feel about creating the Selkie class?
I think this is great. I think this is wonderfully chaotic.
I agree. I think that this is going to be like all about fun, fabulous charisma things. Like, and there's a bunch of, the thing that I like is there's a bunch of different ways that you could take it. You could definitely go like a monk route with it. You know, I would love a monk that like goes and does fabulous acrobatics, leaps into the air, uses a bonus action to turn into a seal, and then just lands on people and starts fighting. I think that would be absolutely amazing.
But all the seals like lying on top of you, it's just like, la. You're like, what is happening?
I'll sing you a bedtime story.
Go to the beach for a drink.
I think it's gonna be super fantastic. Is what I think. Cool. I love it. Do you wanna help us make some other fabulous monster classes?
Just imagine if I was like, no, I'm only doing my thing.
Well, fine.
Like, oh, right, be
Screw
that
all
guy.
of you. I've been
Screw
here
you,
90 minutes. That's it.
No, I'd love to make some more.
Fucking asshole.
Okay, this is where it just turns horrible. You're like, you
Oh, no.
utter. Get in your hot tub. I'm like, okay, and then just transform into a seal. We're like, oh my god,
my
he
God.
was Selkie the entire time.
I think what's the term in Britain? It's like, you absolute tosser.
Oh, how very dare you.
Is that like, because I know that there's definitely insults in Britain that are like totally differently weighed socially there than they are here. Like, I know the C word here is 100% unacceptable. And if you call someone that, like, you might as well have taken a chainsaw and like just chopped up their whole family in front of them. You know, that's the sort of, it is a nuclear insult. It is conversation done at that point. And over in Britain, it's just sort of meh.
It's not that meh. Like, if you called it someone here, they'd probably still be offended.
Yeah,
but it's more like calling someone an asshole or something.
Yeah,
like you're fucking, you know, it's like
yeah. Like, if it's someone you're on familiar terms with, it's nicer than if I just shouted it across the street at someone.
Sure, absolutely.
Like, oh yeah.
Yeah. So where does tosser? I'm gonna say it as an American person. Where does tosser actually?
I think it's polite, but you know,
I don't think I've ever heard someone be called a tosser in England.
There's a fascinating bit, like in an episode of The Simpsons where they're doing like a British like TV show, and I'm going to say the W word because I'm being polite, but they use that, and then they're like, "Oh, that's a fun time," and you're like,
the W word? It's wanker.
Yeah.
So that's the thing where you're like, again, that's kind of, you know, but then when they were like, oh, that's a, you know, I think they're like, oh, if they're not having a drink, they're calling someone a wanker. And then in Britain, we were like, you cannot say that. That is rude.
Oh my God.
You're not expecting it from Simpsons.
Yeah, in America, it's like, you're a fucking wanker. It's just like, it's a mild insult, like calling someone a jerk. You know, or like, damn you. Darn you, even. It's like sort of, they're a wanker. It's like, it's just, yeah. All right, good to know. Good to know. So,
yeah. I think wanker is a good example of like a harsh word that's acceptable-ish in America.
Yeah.
I love it.
Even me saying it, I was like, oh dear.
Yeah.
Oh dear, what if my mother saw this?
Oh my God. There's Pixie, some things are weighted differently in parts of Scotland.
Yes.
Well,
yeah.
Absolutely. But you also have that fabulous brogue, which I feel like shifts the dynamic of the English language pretty like dramatically enough that they would obviously be weighted very differently.
Yeah. The C word in bits of Scotland. Again, a bit like in Australia, where you just pepper it in, and then you just again, it's sort of that weird cultural thing. You're like, oh no, someone calls you that, and then like, do you want a pint? You're like, I kind of do, but gracious, the poor Sassenach in me is very confused.
You need to stop hurting me. Oh God. All right. So I think it's time to go on to our next monster. What's our next monster gonna be?
Ooh.
What's on the list? Who are you asking? I don't know.
I'm asking
me,
you,
Selkie again.
Yeah.
The Selkie doesn't know shit. Selkie just wants to get in the hot tub, take their skin off, and start singing. Okay,
Kelpie, it's like a river horse. We're doing, you know, is it all water-based animals? Like, yep. Next, otters. That's not even a monster. That's just an animal.
Do an otter. I love otters. Otters are
amazing,
my spirit animal. I can't find the website anymore. I don't know
if you like otters, you have to watch the first like 5 minutes of Michelle Wolf's stand-up about otters and seals. And it is delightful and horrifying.
Pick a letter of the alphabet. A to Z.
Ooh, crumbs. Let's go with T.
T. We have.
This.
Okay, we have Tarask.
Yes.
Well, these are. Oh my God.
Yes,
oh my God. No. So the rule is we can't do anything that is above CR20.
We no longer have to ask.
So it needs
We
to be
have-
what we talked about three. What are the three that we had talked about before? Which one of those? Are we doing?
Beholders.
Displacer Beast.
Yeah, Displacer Beast might be fun, or Kill It.
yeah.
No, not Kill It. What was it?
I think Displacer Beast could be, because it already starting to go like dodge, and you know, I think that's try and hit me.
All right, fabulous. We are going to do some Displacer Beast. Displacer Beast. All right, so the size of Displacer Beast, I believe, are large.
Kyle, did you say we were going on a break at around 8:30?
Yes, are we there?
Well, it's 20 to 9.
Okay, yeah, let's do it. So, hey, everybody, we're going to go take like a little 10-minute break. Say, hey, you go grab some water, hydrate, go grab a little food while you're watching, do all the fun stuff. Look outside, look at, depending on what continent you're on, look at the stars or the sun, or, you know,
don't look at the sun.
That. I mean, I can look outside and I can see the sun.
Look at the stars, blind yourself. Walk to the nearest, body of water, whatever you want to do.
Do it. You hear my song, you go to the water. Everyone just gets to the bathroom like, that's cheating.
Goes to the toilet.
Get out of the toilet.
You would get a lot of flack from various critics in your music career, as you have a tendency to just sing actual instructions instead of working in like fun similes.
I am very good at singing, and you should give me money, because again, that same monotone thing. Like, why do they like him? Magic.
Round of applause.
Magic.
Round of applause.
That's
you want
why
an encore. You need an
Gregorian
encore.
chanting for so long. It was
Buy
fucking
my
epic.
merch. Buy my merch. Buy my merch.
So go do all the fun things. We will be back in about 10 minutes, and we will see you to create a Displacer Beast class. Vessels anymore. All right.
Yes, we finally got rid of it.
I want nothing to do with either of you.
Look at me. I'm in charge now.
Okay, so what monsters do we like? Tarask? Yes.
Tarask. Yes.
You are big. You are big boy.
Level 1. World-devouring capabilities.
Level 2. God can devour you. Would you like to eat a god? Yes. Well, get to level 6.
DC saving 3,000.
Yeah, level 6. Not even a wish can get rid of you.
Right, I've got my
Immunity to
comfort.
all damage.
Got my comfort popsicle.
Yeah, like, I've got this. You brought me to this point. Just keep it together.
With your selkie shenanigans.
Ooh, seals.
All right, this time, Paul, do you want to take charge of actually like writing things into the document?
No. Thank you, though.
Okay.
Thank you for the offer, but no, I don't want that. I never wanted that.
Sure.
That was nice of you.
Yeah,
But I'll politely decline.
I'm really sweet that way. I'm really delightful. Okay, well, before we write anything, Ben, we're gonna have to wait until the end of this popsicle. All right.
That's fine. Okay.
That's fine. We're just having popsicle chat now. Just
Yeah, no, that's it. I'd like to discuss this pink popsicle. Okay, it's pink, and it is slightly melted. This is because typically in the evening, what I will do is I will put like a giant pot on the stove and boil water and make like a huge pot of tea for the next day, which I will then let sort of cool in the fridge overnight, right? And then I'll put it into a big bottle, and then I will have my iced tea fresh brewed the next morning.
Is that what Americans think iced tea is? Just cold tea?
You have a lot of judgment in your voice right now.
In England,
someone
cold tea
who's
is called a
unwilling.
waste and a disappointment.
It's called It Goes Down the Sink. Yes.
Yeah, it's called Damn It, I Forgot About My Tea.
Also, how much sugar are you putting in that? Because that's the other thing with iced tea.
None.
Good.
Yeah,
Again,
none.
now
I
the
don't.
judgment's in my voice.
I
I
actually have
live-
about 4 sugars in my
I
tea.
get it.
Ooh.
I get it that you are all judging me. Normally, I consume tea hot, but it is very, very warm right now everywhere. So I am having my iced tea. I did
Cold
live in the
tea.
South
It's
where
just cold
sweet tea is a
tea.
thing. Your cold tea.
Ooh.
Yeah. Yeah. That's right.
Wow.
I said it.
wow.
I hope you cry yourself to sleep tonight.
Make
Won't
no
write a
difference to any
goddamn
other
thing
man.
down.
I like
Oh,
how chats
judging
are like
my iced
they're
tea.
chat's getting tea opinions out. Like,
So,
To continue my story,
oh,
you
apologies.
bastard,
Yes. Ugh.
you judgmental, monstrous human persons.
Yep, that's us.
I forgot to do it last night, so I had to do it this morning. And what I did is I made my big pot of tea and then just put the entire giant pot in the freezer so that it would cool down faster. And the steam melted a bunch of my popsicles. So now I'm sad. I'm
I'm
sad
just
now.
trying
Which
to
means
imagine someone making tea and then putting it in the freezer. I'm stuck on that, if I'm honest.
is this
Like,
harming?
oh,
Do we
beautiful
need to
water.
rethink our relationship now?
I'm gonna have
Like-
a nice little cup of tea. Just gonna wait 6 hours in the freezer. Yeah.
Yeah, bruv, put it in
6
the freezer.
hours. Yeah. No, mate, you got any of that freezer tea in it?
I want it icy.
Yeah.
I want it, I want it
Give me
like a
some of that cold
slushy.
tea. Yeah. That's actually the popsicle he's eating. It's just tea.
Tea. That's weirdly. I'm like that could be quite nice, but just.
Do you leave the tea bag in when you make iced tea?
Yeah. Because I like it dark. I like my tea real dark. Like I want it to look like coffee. Like is what I'm after. Yeah.
Yeah, we're weird.
And,
When we say iced tea, we mean something completely different.
Yeah.
Like Tipton.
What the hell do you do with iced tea over in
Well,
over in Britain?
it's something we can buy. We buy iced tea. We don't really make it because we're not weird. Yeah. It's just Tipton iced tea. I don't really know what it is, to be honest with you. Like,
It's sort of like flavored
Tipton
tea with
iced
lemon.
tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's if I squeeze some friggin' lemon juice into what I made, it's the same damn thing. That's how they make it.
yeah, also, you don't have squash in America like we do you? Like
I mean,
diluted
we have the
squash.
vegetable.
No. Well, yes, you probably do, but like cordial.
No, I'm real sorry that vegetables do not grow in the United States, which is why we consume so much beef. Like that's what's going on here. I'm
That's
glad
what
that
you're
we just got
doing.
to the root of the problem. Like
Instead of hello, Jackson, how you doing?
Oh.
Want to come say hello?
Yeah. Come. Hello.
who is that?
I could just see like a blur of black. I'm like a new friend.
There we go.
Oh, baby.
Careful,
Oh my
careful.
god.
You don't like being up here, do you?
No.
You want to be let out. Hello, say hello to everyone. Look at that.
Look at those eyes.
Yeah, he looks terrified.
Yeah, he doesn't like to be picked up.
I hate
there you
height.
go.
Father,
There you
why
go.
am I so
Hello,
hard?
man. Oh, hello, Loki. That's a different dog. This
Oh,
one just come up and say
It's
hello.
just all
Sorry,
the dogs.
everyone. We're being
Being invaded by dogs. Oh, hello.
Blurry
Phantom,
dog.
yes. There's a huge difference in the US between sweet tea and unsweet tea. And the fact that you have to specify that tea is not normally in the US unsweetened. You have to specify not to put the sweet in. Like the
Hmm.
unprefix needs to be added.
I'm not really forgiving your country when I learned most of you make it in a microwave, so...
See, I would never.
Good.
That's offensive to me as well. Like, I can't be bothered with that. That's insane.
Mikey, what are you doing?
I saw something
Right,
where
no,
someone...
dogs are going out now.
It was like a chain where someone was like, oh, you know, put it in the microwave. And the guy was like, oh, that's insane. I just put it on the mug on the hob. And they're like, what? You just put like the ceramic mug on the hob? And you're like, yeah, what else would you put it? And again, there's someone in the end was just like, this is just chaos. This is... I think someone described it like a Shakespearean, you know, comedy scene. Yeah, just...
Oh my God.
I just hold it up to the sun and wait for a while. What's everyone else doing?
God will hate this.
I want to go to a restaurant and just look at some poor manager in the face and just say, your tea is a tragedy of Shakespearean proportion. All right. I'm surprised your staff doesn't kill themselves every shift.
I'm sorry, this is a Denny's. Just...
Yeah. Sorry, this is a Starbucks. You okay?
Yes.
All right, we're almost there. I'm getting through my my watermelon box to go. We're almost there.
Talking about like the squash cordial thing, there's an episode I coming up with Queen's Court Games where we were like, oh, what are you drinking? And I said, well, I had a lovely cup of orange barley water. And PJ, who's playing with an American, just went, I've absolutely... Is it like beer? Are you drinking beer? I was like, no, it's like orange squash. He's like, what? I was like,
what the
barley.
Fuck is
He's like,
yeah,
so this is the thing. So it's like an orange sort of cordial with barley, as in the thing you have in it. They drink it at Wimbledon. It's that sort of... Because it's supposed to be very refreshing. And that you're watching the difficulty of me trying to explain this very...
So is it alcoholic, first of all?
No.
Okay. Is it sweet or is it tart?
It's sweet. So what you do is that you pour like a quantity of it and then you add water to it. So you mix it, and so we do that with quite a lot of
fucking tang. You're talking about tang.
No, that also gets brought up, but you're like, no, and the problem is you can't talk about it without sounding the most ridiculous, like wind in the willows. Oh, it's a delightful orange drink with a bit of plant in it, and it's very good for your tummy. You know, just like because
it's Metamucil and tang. Okay, I get it. Absolutely.
Like
I understand that your taste buds are used to the horrors of British cook. Like, yes. I get it. The best we can do for you is a little Metamucil and tang.
But it's hilarious when people sort of put a thing where it's like meat, gravy, potatoes, and we're like, yep, that's a meal.
Yeah.
And people are like, well, it's really brown.
I had that earlier.
Yeah.
It was pork chops, potatoes, green beans, and gravy. It was great.
Great.
Yeah,
I had what the hell do you eat?
I had a boyfriend from Britain for a while, and when he would make me like a home-cooked meal, I would always have to go to the store first and get like 4 or 5 sides that were like vegetables, because I knew that what I would get when I got home is like a serving plate like this deep of like roast beef and mashed potatoes and a giant side of gravy, and all of it would be super well done. And I'm like
this
okay.
sounds really nice to me. Like, yeah,
that sounds like a great evening.
See, that's a Sunday dinner.
If it were cooked a little rarer, absolutely. I just can't do dry meat. You gotta give me
that's what the
there.
Gravy is for, Kyle.
It's the sweet.
It's not dry meat if it's wet.
If it's what?
Wet meat.
Oh, I thought you said. I heard wat. W-A-T.
Oh,
and I'm like, is that another British thing?
We love it when it's wat. Wonderfully, wonderful and tasty. Water.
It's water.
Water.
You need to wat your beef.
Better wat yourself.
Yeah, lovely guy. Never
Not
wats
in
his
public.
beef.
Never wats his beef. What's his beef sounds like a weird euphemism I don't want to be a part of.
See, I'm looking in the chat. Pixie's Gran is making veg roast beef Yorkshire pudding. It's a delight. This is now how I turn. I'm like, actually, our cooking's great. We make various forms of pies.
What do you want?
We have a dish which was made so we could eat it down a mine. So, yeah,
Sorry,
We have
what dish is
potato
that?
in 7 different forms. What are you on about?
so we have a thing called a Cornish pasty, which has like a ridge of the pastry. So you could hold it and you wouldn't eat the ridge. So when you were
it's an
down the mine,
empanadas.
you could just...
Okay.
Is that what Cornish pasty is for?
Yeah, that's sort of
know
like
that.
that bit at the top. But so that again, that's meat, that's potatoes, that's
Yeah.
vegetables in a pie, basically.
What's that meal?
Yeah.
Shepherd's pie, which is meat and gravy and potatoes.
With lamb, and then cottage pies with beef. In Friends, where they were like, "Oh, we're making shepherd's pie with beef," and you're like, "Well, no, you're not."
That's a
Monica.
lot.
Excuse me?
I can't wait to go to like a dinner party and be that guy that knows the difference now.
Just contacting
shame
Channel
my
4.
host.
Dear Sir or Madam, on Thursday night on E4, I was shocked to my core when I learned that Rachel Green,
What a
I
terrible...
need
so-called
that to
friends,
come back. I need that. Dear sir or madam. Like, not that the women concerned, very specifically.
Dear Sir and or Madam, because you don't know.
There's a Facebook/Twitter group I follow, which is Angry Letters to the Newspaper, which is always that where someone's just like, "Dear sir, I do not appreciate the youth." Where like someone was saying like they were using most terrible language, and then when I said stop it, they said, "Jog on, Grandpa." If I was a younger man, they'd be looking at the sky, and I was like, one, yeah, of course you would, and two, I bet they said jog on. If you're coming out and angry at them swearing, they were like, jog on, Grandpa. Go wet your whistle.
Go whack yourself.
Go whack yourself.
All right. I finished my popsicle. I feel like that's an accomplishment.
Are you refreshed? Are you cool? Are you ready?
I mean, I am well and truly, insulted for the way apparently that I make my tea.
You just wanted to have a lovely popsicle and not have these two Brits yell at you for 10 minutes about your life choices.
I shall weep eternally. You can see it right here. It is iced tea. It is cool and refreshing.
Cold tea. It's tea you made yesterday and waited.
And you melted your icicles.
Wow. Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
Wow.
You know what? I hope a Selkie comes and rips your skin off.
So do I. It's my bizarre kink.
I hope a Selkie comes into your hot tub.
Yep.
I know we didn't get the thing from the, getting the donations, but yeah, it's that. That's the way that it just comes and pulls the skin off and goes, yeah, come back from that. Here's a song, Get in the Bath.
Get in the hot tub, get in the hot tub.
All right, I'm going
shall
to
we make a
redirect
displacer
the
beast?
conversation from Selkies to displacer beasts. How do we feel about that? First off, let's talk displacer beasts. Paul, can you pull up a listing for displacer beasts and tell us all about these guys?
So, hello. These are level 3 monsters. But
They're only CR3.
They are, but in a previous conversation, Kyle, we said we're going to do it to level 7.
I feel like that would be appropriate given that you have like a permanent blur effect and all kinds of crazy attacks. Like I think don't they get like 3 attacks if they want to at some point?
Yes.
Yeah. So I feel
no, 2 attacks. I completely misread that. It says 2 attacks with its tentacles and not testicles. Does not make 3 attacks with its testicles. So
we've been asked to keep this PG. So just
it's a scientific name for them.
If you calm down with your testicles, all right.
Fine, but you're not the first person to say that to me today, okay?
Okay, I feel like I need to make a disclaimer. I do not know what he is talking about specifically. Also, to my knowledge, no one has specifically created any sort of complaint against Paul about his I don't know, excessively forceful
My multi-attack with
it hits you once, it hits you twice, and you just
that's terrible. So you just
like
slam
a
somebody.
Newton's pendulum.
just on tentacles.
Right,
Look,
And
I made some
yeah.
life choices. I'm a level 7 Displacer Beast. What you gonna do?
Let's see. Let's start from the top. Armor class 13, natural armor.
Huh? Fabulous. What's its dexterity?
15 plus 2.
So its natural armor is AC 13, you said?
Yeah.
So it should get a +1 to armor class. All right. So we've got, give me just a moment while I set this up. There we go. All right, +1 AC. What size is it? Is it a large monstrosity?
It is indeed a large monstrosity, yeah. It's got lots of legs.
All right, fabulous. It's got 6 legs and a couple tentacles. All right, what's next?
So speed is 40 feet.
Nice.
Proficiency bonus is +3. So strength is 18 plus 4. Dexterity is 15 plus 2, as mentioned. Constitution is 16 plus 3. Intelligence is 6 minus 2.
Yeah.
Wisdom is 12 plus 1, and charisma is 8 minus 1.
Oh no, baby.
Okay, so
no.
let's look at this. So the Selkie didn't have any negatives.
No.
So what I'd like to do for monster classes is, so Selkie, they got a total of, let's see, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So they got a total of like 8 pluses because they're essentially starting with basic scores, right? Do we need to pull that back?
No.
For the Selkie, no. I still think the coat's a pretty big disadvantage, you know, so like
Yeah.
to balance it out and then just
Yeah, so if you don't, so if you're not getting all the benefits of a specific class, then you need to get all of these extras. All right, so I want to sort of keep this sort of standard across the board. So if we're going to look at like +8 for each creature, right, that there will be some sort of, you know, real bonus to what's going on. Unless, are we assuming that we'll be using sort of standard array for a monster?
I would assume that.
Yeah.
And there's a standard.
If we're doing standard array, I feel like this might +8, because maximum that you get, let's see, if we've got 6 levels, maximum that you can get for pluses for that would be 5. With your class, you would get 3 with your race and then 2 with a feat.
Yeah.
So I think we should pull it back to essentially however much you would be able to, like maybe 1 extra. So like, let's say 6 would be sort of the max.
Wasn't the Selkie, it was +8 by level 6 though, wasn't it? Not at level 1.
Yeah, +8 by level 6.
So what do other races and classes get by level 6?
+5.
By level 6?
Yeah, because at that point, because you only have the 1 feat that you're getting at level 4. Once you get to 8, then it would be +7 max, and then once you get, so we can do it that way. I think that what we could do is we could take like, maybe even like whatever that is +2.
Yeah.
So let's pull back one thing. All right, here's what I'll do. I'll give them a +1 charisma and +1 dexterity at level 1 instead of +2 dexterity. that way. All right, so if we're taking this guy to level 7, let me get rid of these other levels here. And what that means is that they will get 1 total, they'll get 1 feat. So we can give them a total of +7. So what's their highest stat?
Strength 18 plus 4.
Okay, so let's give them, I'm going to give them a +2 strength. And dexterity, is that a plus or a minus? What's that?
Dexterity is 15 plus 2.
Okay. I like dexterity on a displacer beast. I think that that's important, so we'll give them a +2 dex. Constitution?
16 plus 3.
Okay. Let's see, we can do plus con. Intelligence is negative, right?
It is, yeah. 6 minus 2.
So it's a full-on, so we'll get a -2 intelligence, which means that we can get +9 total for the other stats.
Well, okay.
Charisma
is also a minus at 8 minus 1.
Okay, I feel like that's within like the standard array.
That's fine.
So we don't need to jump in there. What's their wisdom?
12 plus 1.
Okay, yeah, so that's fine. So what we can do, if we can do +9 total, let's just, I think their strength and dexterity, honestly, if we're building them as a class, those are the things that we should concentrate on.
Yeah.
So why don't we do a +4, let's do +3 strength, +4 dexterity, and then +2 constitution, and then a -2 intelligence. I think that's, so we'll spread those out across those levels and make sure that people are doing fun things with them. All right, what's next?
Next is skills. Stealth +4.
Okay.
Senses are dark vision 60 feet.
Uh-huh.
It apparently knows no languages.
Okay.
And some of its abilities include avoidance. If the displacer beast is subjected to an effect that allows it to make a saving throw to take only half damage, it instead takes no damage if it succeeds.
Is that evasion for a rogue?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll do evasion, since that's the language that it's using. What else?
Displacement. The displacer beast projects a magical illusion that makes it appear to be standing near its actual location, causing attack rolls against it to have disadvantage. If it is hit by an attack, the trait is disrupted until the end of its next turn. This trait is also disrupted while the displacer beast is incapacitated or has a speed of 0.
Very cool. What else do we get?
So on the site that I'm using, it has a couple of suggested abilities, which, considering we're taking it over level 3, we could certainly look at.
Yeah.
So the first one here is Rake. If both front claws hit, the displacer beast may rake with its 4 rear claws, dealing 1d4 plus strength modifier slashing damage, each as a bonus action.
Oh my god, that's a lot of damage. Yeah, no, I'm here for that as essentially an amplification, because this displacer beasts are definitely like roguey.
Yeah.
You know, like that's definitely where they live when it comes to classes. So I'm 100% here for the rake as something that's like almost like a sneak attack thing.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
All right. What else do we have there?
So now we've got actions. We've got multi-attack. The displacer beast can make 2 attacks with its tentacles. A suggested action is the displacer beast makes 2 attacks with its tentacles or 2 with its claws and 1 with its bite.
So I feel like I would want to, at sort of the capstone, I would want it to be able to have its multi-attack be either 2 attacks with its tentacles or 2 attacks with its claws and attack with its bite. So there's actually 3 attacks there. Or if someone is like grappled in their tentacles, then like there's something that like they automatically can take a bite attack on them, something like that. All right, so we've got multi-attack. What other fabulous things do we have?
We have Bite, which is a melee weapon attack, plus 6 to hit, reach 5 feet, and it's 1d8 piercing damage.
All right, so it's 1d8 piercing. Fabulous. What's next?
And then we've got Claws, which is 1d4.
Okay. Can't believe their claws are only 1d4. That's insane to me. That's a large monstrosity.
And they can't even throw them like the other monster can. So,
come on now.
Oh, you can't throw your claws.
If both front claws hit, the displacer beast may employ the Rake special ability, stated above. And then it's got Tentacle, which is a melee weapon attack with a reach of 10 feet. Can only hit 1 target and 1d6 bludgeoning damage plus 1d6 piercing damage.
Oh. Bludgeoning plus 1d6 piercing. All right, cool. Fabulous. Do the tentacles have a grapple?
No.
I feel like if we're going to take them to level 7, that we're going to give them their tentacles a bit of a grapple.
Yeah.
All right, what else can they do?
That's it.
Oh.
All right, fabulous.
They're only level 3, to be fair, or CR3.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are going to create, what I'd like to do with this is I would like this to actually like, that they'll sort of start as an actual like small creature at level 1, grow up to like a medium creature at like level 4, and then at level 7 they actually like grow into their full strength and become large. So their damage can stack or can increase as they move things forward, and they get more used to their body.
Nice curve, yeah.
All right, so we'll say small at level 1. At level 4, they become medium, not medium, and at 7, they become large. All right, cool. That's delightful. Let's break these things down individually. When is it going to get its +1 to AC?
Level 2?
Level 2. Why does it get it at level 2?
Because you asked me and I gave you an answer.
It got ever so slightly bigger.
So
yeah.
So one of the things that I like to do with these is I like there to be sort of a narrative as to why this is happening, because I feel like that's important if you're trying to help somebody understand how they're going to be progressing through this class. You know, that it's not just, because here it is, okay, this is a capstone, they're growing into it, all that kind of stuff. Sort of like with the Selkie, where they can slowly transform better and better and better.
I like the fact that because it's 7, you've like what you are, growing level, evolution, growing level, final. You know, so that's a nice sort of So, sort of. What happens at what? Tiny little guy gets a bit hard.
Why don't we do? So I'm thinking. So given what we have just said, is there a reason for 2? They like develop like more speed. We could do that where it's like at level 1 your speed's actually 30, and then at level 2 you gain 10 feet of speed and you gain AC because you also get like extra dex.
You get the zoomies.
Yeah, zoomies.
I love it. All right, so we'll start small with, I'm gonna say 25-foot speed because you're little. And at level 2, you gain 5 feet of speed. So you gain 30-foot speed. Plus, if we've got, so we're going to start out. You definitely get a -1 intelligence at first level. And I think as you begin to sort of depend on your attacks, when you get multi-attack at level 5, you definitely get a -1 to intelligence there.
You've been hit in the head so many times. It's just like...
It's very upsetting.
I've gotten
all the
stronger.
blood's going to
I'm
your
gonna.
muscles.
I like that as a class thing. Where you're like, yeah, you've got some advantages, but also you just slowed. You're like, well, I use a magical item, and you're like, oh, that's all right, you know.
Good.
Yeah.
You gain a vulnerability to little red dots on the wall.
Yeah,
You
you're like
do.
perception for something. You get disadvantage for perception. You're like, oh.
I love it. All right, we'll do -1 intelligence, +1 dex. No, we'll do that for second level. +1 strength, +1 constitution. Then we'll do another, let's see, that gives us, then why don't we do an extra +2 dexterity at second level, which would totally make sense and give you an extra AC. So you're just super agile at this point. So +2 dex, +1 AC. All right, fabulous. So that takes care of the AC bonus. Where are we going to add the speed? So we've got 25 feet, 30 feet at second level. Do we just want to keep doing an extra 5 feet every level?
If you do that, it gains like 60 feet at level 7.
No, I mean up to 40.
Oh, right, okay. I was going to say, like, can't just keep adding 5.
We
As
could
hilarious
do,
as that would be.
if we're 30. Oh, here, let's do at level 4, because you become medium, you gain 35 foot speed.
And then I'd say level 6, maybe, to get to 40 feet?
Sure. And then level 6, you get 40 feet speed as you are just about to become large. Let's see, there is, actually, I think we can put large at 6. And that'll give us 7 for just capstone abilities.
Okay.
All right, so we've got speed taken care of. Let's figure out where we're going to add our. All right, so what's happening here at each different level that's going to give us extra things? So we've got 2 strength left to give. We've got 2 dexterity left to give, and we've got 1 con left to give.
Well, why don't you do +1 strength and +1 dex when it goes to medium?
Okay.
And then all the other stats when it gets to large?
+1 strength and +1 dex. Fabulous. So, okay, so the size shifts are going to all be sort of basic changes, and we don't necessarily need to add other special abilities. Okay, cool. I like that.
That's quite nice, yeah.
So then we'll do +1 strength and +1 dex, and then that leaves +1 strength, +1 dex, and +1 con for level 6. Perfect. And +1. There we go. All right, we've got our pluses. All right, now we're looking at proficiencies now. So obviously stealth is going to be a proficiency level. With these guys, because they're sort of roguish, I think what I'd like to do is I'd like to give them proficiencies, more proficiencies like a rogue gets, and sort of replace some of their, instead of giving them like expertise and things, like eventually I'd like to give them expertise in stealth, but other things like give them proficiencies or give them choices of proficiencies like
Yeah.
sort of at every level. Make them super, super like dynamic and diverse.
Interesting. So more sort of like strength or dex. That's sort of, are you going to be live or are you going to be?
Yeah, things like that. Like, ooh, I like that. Like giving them two different sort of trajectories that they can take. Well, what's an interesting strength one? That is, or should we stick with? You know what? I'm thinking for first level. Why don't we do, since we're giving them strength, constitution, and dexterity, that we give them sort of, since con I feel like is more akin to strength, let's give them two sort of strength-based things and one dex-based thing, and then give them the two branches to choose from as they move forward. Right, so their stealth is a dex thing. What's a fun strength thing? Is there anything besides athletics that's a strength check?
I think there's only like 3.
What is it?
Could we do a thing with, because we were talking about like intimidation, because that's usually charisma, but then people talk about intimidation being strength.
Yeah.
Right? You're like, because you're strong, you know,
Yeah.
it becomes that. Intimidation becomes a strength thing, rather.
Absolutely. I think we can do that. So intimidation. And you know what? I'd like to give them nature. They understand their surroundings.
Yeah.
You know, they know how to blend. All right, cool. So now, let's say and instead of every level, let's do odd levels. So at level 3, they can, all right, let's see, choose between athletics and what's a fun dex one that would be delightful for a displacer beast to have? Athletics and acrobatics?
Acrobatics or stealth?
I mean, stealth we're kind of going down already. But...
the other one is sleight of hand, so I'm not very sure.
With the tentacles, you're like...
I actually love that for a displacer beast. Like, can you pick someone's pocket with your tentacle? Like, how agile are these things?
I'm liking like that kind of thing. It's like, yeah, you only get it if you use your tentacles. You know?
It's a giant leopard coming towards you. Don't mind me, it's fine.
It's fine. Like just like or having your tentacles over here distracting them while you like pick their pocket with your teeth.
And then you sort of look at, and the tentacle just like gently pats you on the cheek.
Or just taps you on the shoulder. You know, like when a bit of school, you go and then go that way.
Well, here then, why don't we, instead of doing strength or dex, let's do sort of like melee or roguey. You know, like melee or skill monkey.
Nice. Okay. Yeah, I like it. Yeah.
So let's do. So we've got athletics and acrobatics. I feel like those sort of are there in the same plane. You can choose which one you're going to go with. By level 5, you're going to have like multi-attack. What's going to be important at that point to a like strength-based melee fighter?
Survival?
Ooh, that would be interesting. So it could be, I feel like actually survival would be more the skill monkey thing, like that's a tracking thing. So absolutely, let's go with survival for the skill monkey branch. And then what would be something that's interesting that would be more of a finding someone and beating the crap out of them?
Is that where we do the intimidation thing, where you know, sort of, because now you're big.
Yeah.
Ooh, yeah, I could totally see that. Yeah, doing intimidation there instead of at the beginning. So cool. Let's do. Right, so we'll pull intimidation from here. We'll do nature.
Do you know how we're giving it proficiency in nature? We are also giving it a -2 in intelligence.
I was just thinking there's something like, maybe that's the thing, like we balance out, we give, what else could nature be under? You're like, dexterity. You're like, how? How are you good at plants?
Well, no, but I think that's totally fine. I mean, nature could be under wisdom, It could be an instinctual thing because you are a displacer beast, that this is just you have an instinctive understanding of the world around you. I feel like we could definitely do that. We could definitely vet nature as wisdom instead of intelligence.
Yeah.
Athletics and acrobatics. Then there's going to be intimidation. Choose between intimidation or survival. And then finally at level 7, I feel like level 7, we should, instead of giving them choices between two skills, we can give them choices between 2 feats.
Okay.
I think that would be fun. What would be, let me look at feats. What would be delightful feats? One like that's a skill monkey feat, and one that is
combat.
A fabulous, let me do a million attacks and rip you apart and then disappear.
What about charger?
Ooh, because then you can use rake
Yeah.
with that. Let me see. Let me look at this. All right. When you use your action to dash, you can call it bonus action to make one melee weapon attack or shove a creature. If you move at least 10 feet straight, you can, before taking this bonus action, you either gain +5 to the attack's damage roll, or push the target. I would definitely want to do charger with this if they're going to become like a crazy melee, just 6-armed, 6 claws, like just ripping into everybody all the time. We can do that. There is a slashing thing too. Let me see what that looks like. And hey, chat, if you have any fabulous ideas about feats that we could jump into, I think that would be absolutely delightful. We would love your help on that. Let me see. There is Shield Master skill. It's called Slasher. Let's see what that looks like. You increase your strength or dexterity. Once per turn, when you hit a creature with an attack that deals slashing damage, you can reduce the speed of the target by 10. I think that totally makes sense. When you score a critical hit, you grievously wound it. Until the start of your next turn, the target has disadvantage on it. I feel like that absolutely would be a thing. Like you go rake them and just rip them apart. And they're bleeding, they can barely walk, and they're trying to sort of haphazardly attack you while you're just sort of eating their intestines, you know.
Just lie down. Just lie down.
How do we feel about Slasher?
I think that's horrific but good, just for that. Yeah.
For balance sake, it is only applicable to its claws. No other attacks do slashing damage.
Okay.
Yeah. So its whole thing with that rate, but like when you do the claws, essentially you get 6 attacks, which means you're much more likely to crit and do this horrific damage to somebody.
I suppose that's specification for claws. That's sort of that's the path you've gone down. But we'll see what we do with the other one. With that other one, maybe tentacle. I think mobile was suggested. Is that more the sort of dexy side rather than the strength side?
Charger one,
yeah.
Let's look at mobile. Your speed increases by 10 when you take the dash action. Difficult terrain doesn't cost you extra movement. When you make a melee attack against a creature, you don't provoke opportunities from that creature for the rest of the turn, whether you hit or not. I love that.
Yeah.
You can smack the shit out of somebody with a tentacle and just
because I'm like the visualization of like dashing through, just panther like jumping back and forth.
Yeah.
And like, oh no, it's coming from me. And also the speed, like you're running and suddenly this panther just starts sprinting after you. Like, oh no.
No, I love that. Okay, so we can do between the slasher feat and the mobile feat. All right, cool. So they'll get an extra feat in there. That by itself is pretty powerful. And they'll choose between either increasing an ability score or increasing their speed. depending on what they want to do. Cool. There is, all right, so we've got stealth they can definitely have dark vision at level 1. Dark vision. All right. Rake. I think I'd like to give them rake when they become medium.
Makes sense.
Does that work?
I think that's quite.
Yeah.
All right, then we'll do rake, and then 5, they'll get their multi-attack.
That doesn't make sense.
Okay.
Because rake is only applicable if both claws hit. If he can't multi-attack until a level later, he's not going to be able to rake them.
So then rake you will get at large. There we go. So level 6, we'll get rake. All right. Fabulous. Thank you for grabbing that. That would have been very frustrating for people if they got rake at level 4 and literally never got to use it.
It'd be like, how does that work? Excellent question. Well, very good. Very good question.
I used to do that when I used to be a manager at a shop. If someone asked me a question I didn't know the answer to, but that's a great question. Really good.
No, yeah, delightful.
You should be proud of that question. I'll see you in a bit.
You've solved my puzzle. Congratulations.
Very insightful. All right, so we've got so things we've got left. We've got evasion, displacement, and then I'd like to do like increasing damage with the various natural weapons. So if we've got let's see, so you get bonuses to things at level 4. You get an extra, you get multi-attack at level 5. You get bonuses at level 7.
Maybe because we're saying like level 3, where it's like acrobatics. Maybe evasion there, where it's like, oh, you know, whatever happens, you're still good at moving.
Yeah. When does a rogue get evasion?
I think that's like level 7, something like that.
Oh. I want it sooner than that then.
Yeah.
I think level 3 is fine.
Well,
yeah.
What about this? You're like, your intelligence is dropping. There's a balance here, yeah.
Let's see. So at level 5, they get uncanny dodge. At level 7, they get evasion. So I think getting evasion at level 3 will be super useful, allowing them to sort of, you know, it's like people are casting things at them, but they're accidentally casting them at the image instead of them. Totally makes sense. Casters.
Displacement is the thing that generates an image. Evasion takes half damage on spell attacks if they fail.
Yes. There's so all right. Let's see. So displacement, that is a very powerful thing. Like disadvantage on all attack throws until it gets shut down. I think it's something that I'd like to have evolve because it's such a part of the Displacer Beast that I'd like to give it to them at first level, but then have it shift and change throughout their growth.
Is it more images, do you think, or?
It could cast it further away because it says near its actual location, but what does that mean?
I think a combination of both, since this is a class, and not just a beast or not just a monstrosity. I think if we make some interesting changes to it that would allow, as you choose the class that you're going to be taking after it, allows you to do fun things with this. So I think definitely sort of shifting it into like more of like a mirror image thing.
Yeah.
By the time you get large, I think would be super useful. But I also think the ability to maintain it even after you have been hit.
Okay, yeah. So
that should definitely be a level 7 thing.
Yeah, that's what I'm
when you've
thinking.
mastered it. Yeah.
At that point, at level 7, you've mastered this and you can know, like, everyone just has disadvantage on all attacks against you.
Yeah.
You know, that you become this incredible force on the battlefield. But at that point, at level 7, like once you get, like, it might be a little overpowered at level 7, we might actually like move it to level 8 or something. But at that point, you then have spellcasters have the ability to do area of effect, which is not would just destroy all of your images anyway. You know, like there's all that kind of stuff, and you've got like you start getting creatures that can see through illusions, and you know, all of those things. So I don't think it would unbalance things too much to get there. What do you think?
I think if we push it to level 8, we're gonna have to disrupt everything else.
As we just add more levels.
Right. Like, it is a lot of work.
I will say, just like the idea that the Selkie just always remains at 6. Everyone else is like, oh, we're up to level 10, and the Selkie's like, I'm just here. I'm just having a great time.
I'm doing my best. I can swim. So I think, like,
oh my God,
we could just increase how many times it could do it between long rests.
It's a good limit, you know, sort of.
Like, you could only do it 4 times between long rests, or tie it to an ability modifier. So you could do it for every.
I would tie it to Constitution because it's sort of like a spell-like ability.
Yeah.
Like being able to maintain it. Like you can make a save, and it's not even guaranteed. Like you can make a save to see whether or not it gets destroyed, whether you lose your displacement. I think something like that. Then we wouldn't have to limit it. But it also wouldn't always work. So it's more of a functional thing. It's like, can you maintain this like a spell attack?
I think because that's like a natural part of you. That if you were just like, oh, you can only do it twice. You're like, well,
right.
Yeah.
All right. So let's do. So displacement, starting at level 1. And then when they become medium, displacement increases and becomes, let's do multiples at large. This one will be when they become medium displacement. So 7 is the one that allows you to maintain it. What do we want to do here that will make the displacement a little more interesting?
Could make it move.
Yes.
Ooh, the displacement becomes like you can use a bonus
like
action.
as a bonus action, you can command your mirror image to move up to 20 feet.
You can force.
I mean, I know it's not what we're saying, but I like the idea before that. You're going, I think it's that one who's actually moving. That one's just static, like, hologram.
Shall we hit the one that's attacking us or the statue behind it? No idea, mate. Gonna have to flip a coin.
Or like the thing in like Pokemon where you do the replacement, it's just a doll. You're like, it's that. It's obviously that. You're like, I don't know.
Right, I'm gonna say 10 feet because I do want them to be able to, like, they have to sort of stay within the zone, because otherwise you might be targeting.
How long are the tentacles? I like it being
tentacles
like,
are 10 feet.
You move a tentacle's length, you know, just like,
yes. And then at large, you gain displacement. You now gain as many alternate images as your bonus in, let's say, because you would have to maintain them constantly. That makes sense. And you get a little plus to Constitution, many alternate images as your bonus in Con. minimum.
This is a strength con build
2.
at the moment, which I think is quite fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There is so that way you at least get one extra one when you hit large, and then you can move them around on the field as you see fit.
Can they attack?
Pardon?
Can the displacers, mirror images, whatever you want to call them, can they attack or not?
If they did, they would immediately be found out as illusions.
Yeah. That leopard didn't hurt me at all. How weird.
Damn them.
Although maybe that's the thing with that, you could use that to like impose disadvantage, where someone's like flinches because they're like, "Oh, I've been attacked." You're like, "Nah, it was me."
I like that. Let's see. I feel
We could just give it. Come.
I actually want to add that to when they can start moving. You can now make a deception check.
Does it use up the image, or is it just sort of like? Is it the sort of thing like it attacks and bursts, and that so you?
Well, what I was gonna say is, can you not give it? I think I forget what it's called off the top of my head, like pack mentality, or like where you and an ally. Yeah, that's it. Pack tactics, but only with its mirrors.
You can now make a deception check to send your alternate images to flank an enemy, giving yourself advantage on any attacks against them in this round. You must make, let's see how to phrase that. You must win a deception check against their insight check to succeed in this. And that way you can do it regularly, but if you pick the wrong person, like they have to, like the insight will give them an understanding of which one of you is the real one. And if they fail, they don't know. But if they do, they can ignore the illusion and you don't get advantage on your attack.
You still attack.
And then finally at level 7, displacement. Anytime the effect of your displacement would be disrupted, you may make a Constitution saving throw with a DC of 10, or I want it to essentially be like a magic check, a concentration check. A DC of 10 or half of the damage taken to suppress the effect, whichever is higher. So there's always a chance that you will not be able to manage this with your Constitution saving throw. How do we feel about that progression of somebody moving past 3rd level and being able to now start doing really fun things with their displacement?
It's fun. I like it. Sort of like, but also, as we said, like the transformation, where it's like this is the point where you're no longer this little creature. You're now much big. Yeah.
I think that's going to be super fun. Being able, I do love the ability to like send them out other places and like start manipulating this part of you. But like the displacers that we've seen before, just never really thought about. No. It was always good enough. for them. These are the exceptional displacer beasts that are coming into our campaigns.
You get to 7 and they can talk. And that's just a weird thing. It's like sending. Like this like hologram comes up to you and goes, "We're going to have meat for dinner. Please respond."
I would love a displacer beast to become like a sorcerer and then get like all kinds of illusion magic going, and then be able to use its own displacer like images with that controlled image, do like shadow magic to make them sort of a little bit real, that would be amazing to me if you could like take spells and like deliver, instead of it being you can deliver now touch spells with your images, send them out in like a chain, each one tentacle width wide.
Reaching out. And then just the tentacle just comes and like boops, and you're like, finger of death. You're like, good God, how?
And it would have to be sorcerers because they're not intelligent enough to be wizards.
I was just thinking, which I also now love the display speech wearing like the wizard's hat, going, I can get this. I could do this. I
can. I love that, like carrying a spell book in one tentacle. A warlock displacer beast would be terrifying.
I've made a terrible deal. Like the old one kind of thing where you've seen extra tentacles. You're like, oh no, what did you do? What did you agree to?
Oh my God. I now have this image in my head of like a displacer beast warlock, like dodging. You don't really see them. You just see something huge going through the canopy of a forest, and suddenly you just get hit by eldritch blasts as they're sort of wandering by. It's like, where to go? Oh God, where to go? Oh God.
Just sort of leans in and like, just don't make a thing. Don't inquire. Just accept that this is happening. Just. And then you hear, you're like, oh no, run. Like, can I run? No, but it'll make you feel better.
Absolutely.
I've just reworded the level 4 ability and highlighted it on the sheet. What do you think to that?
When a target is attacking, when target you are attacking is within 5 feet of a displacer beast. I think it needs to be of an alternate image, so that the alternate image, they must make a wisdom saving throw, DC 12 plus your charisma modifier, or you will gain advantage on any attacks that against that target.
Okay, so is it the displacer beast's charisma modifier because you have a negative too?
You what?
I'm saying, so for this role, it's plus. Is it the displacer beast's charisma modifier?
Yeah.
But because that's a negative already, so they're not good at charisma, so that's not.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, just do con then. Just do con. If it's tied to the constitution elsewhere.
I'm just very chunky.
Yeah, this is becoming all about constitution. I'd like to try a different modifier. What other modifiers? Why don't we make it dex, where it's like how agile each of these images is being, and that's going to be based on how agile you are. There we go. So we've got. I love it. All right, so that gives them a little extra dex. That's fine. All right, cool. Now, finally, we are going to be doing the attacks. So, I feel like when you're small, your tentacles are not going to be strong enough to do it. And your claws are probably going to be would be like 1d2, so sort of useless in combat. So we can start out, since you're only going to have one attack, you can just start out with a bite attack. Does that work?
Yeah.
All right, so bite, attack. I'm going to say bite attack 1d6 piercing. Then when you get to medium, and let me see what's happening here in between. So at level 2, you gain speed, dex, and AC. At level 3, you gain evasion and a skill. At level 4, you gain a size. At level 5, you get multi-attack and a skill. At level 6, you gain a size. And at level 7, you gain a feat, plus the ability to maintain your displacement. Do we want to add various attacks in levels where you are not gaining a size, or do we want to tie them to those places?
I like.
Well, we should probably put claw at level 5, considering we've allowed it to multi-attack, and that allows it to rake.
I think that's
well,
good. I think
we could. Well, so what we could do is we could put it on level 4 when you gain size, and then that way you can choose between either your bite or your claw attack if you want to do piercing or you want to do slashing, and then at 5, then you learn how to use both of them at the same time.
I like the idea that you have one level where you're like, oh, I've learned this thing, and then you're like, and now you've got an understanding, you've got a mastery as you've grown bigger, and that's it. Yeah. So like,
I've learned to attack with my claw. Wait a minute, I've got 2. I'm so clever. I've got an idea. What's this?
I should be a wizard.
Okay, then what I'm gonna do
And
is
they say I lost intelligence.
Since evasion is pretty powerful, I'm gonna say at level 2, that's when your bite grows to 1d8. Bite grows to 1d8. Level 4, gain claw attack. And what is the claw attack? Normally is 1d4, so we'll do gain claw attack 1d4, slashing. Bite increases to, what is it down here? It's 1d8. I'm going to say increases to, nope, stays where it is. 1d8 still good. Then you gain the claw attacks. Then at level 5, you gain essentially the ability to do 6 claw attacks if you're doing things. I'm gonna say gain a claw attack.
Apologies. How are you doing 6 claw attacks at level 5?
Because if you hit with both of your claws, you get 4 more claw attacks as you rake.
Do you mean why?
I thought that's what it said, that you can, with the rake, you get to attack with all 4 of your other claws.
But rake isn't until level something else, isn't it?
Level 6.
Yeah, level 6 is rake.
Oh, you get multi-attack. Sorry, so you get 6 claw attacks at level 6. You get 2 claw attacks if you want it at level 5. So let's see.
4's 1, 2, rake. Okay,
yeah.
Yes.
Describing that as 6 claw attacks was really confusing.
All right, so we get the claw attack of 1d4.
Yeah, let's climb up somewhere.
At level 5, I think we should say claw attacks gain the finesse property. So that if you want to use them with finesse feats, things like that, then you can. There's at level 6, you become large. I think here is where we should increase the bite damage. Bite damage 1d10. Claw damage 1d6, I think is where we should go with that. And then you gain claw damage 1d6, gain tentacle.
Okay, so tentacle at level 6.
Attacks. at level 6 once you get large, because now you're actually large enough that they'll reach.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's nice. So like your attack, levels up, and then you're like, also you can now slap people with your tentacles. You're like, oh.
Yeah. So now you are at level 6. This is where you gain like all of the crazy stuff for your attacks, unless we want to do tentacles at level 7.
I was going to say tentacle attacks at level 6, but at level 7, allow them to grapple.
Nice.
Ooh, fabulous. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. So
To keep in line with the whole, I've learned this attack. Next
And
level,
now
I've learned to optimize this attack.
Yeah.
grapple, medium. And I'm going to say because they're a large creature, it's medium or smaller.
Do you want to say, like, on a successful attack, they can grapple? Or just they can choose to grapple?
I think, honestly, that might be a little overpowered if on a successful attack, they automatically grapple. I think having to choose whether you're going to smack somebody or whether you're going
grab
to
them. Okay, yeah.
actually grab them, I think will be useful. It's sort of keeping this. So let's look at this guy. Chat, let me know what you think of it, what we're looking at here. If you want to play a displacer beast, you start out as a cute small displacer kitten. It's just sort of going rare. It goes rare. You're small, you can only move at 25 feet. You are not very bright, but you are strong and you have constitution. Then you get stealth. From that, you get an understanding of the world around you with nature. You've got your dark vision. You begin your displacement journey, and you have a bite attack. Then we can get rid of this guy here. At level 2, you gain 5 feet of speed, a bunch of dexterity, AC, and your bite becomes stronger. At level 3, you get a new skill and you gain evasion. At level 4, you grow a size category, gain 5 feet to your speed, strength and dexterity. Now you can move your alternate images around up to 10 feet, and you can use them to give yourself advantage on attacks. In addition, you gain a claw attack, a very little claw attack, but a claw attack nonetheless. At level 5, you definitely lose a little intelligence, but you gain either intimidation or survival as your instincts start to take over more. You gain multi-attack, and your claw attacks gain the finesse property. At level 6, you become large. You fill out your speed at 40 feet. You get extra strength, dexterity, constitution. You gain the rake ability with a 1d6 claw attack, which means that you potentially could do 6d6 damage plus your either your strength or dexterity, whichever direction you choose to take it. Your bite damage goes up to 1d10, and you now gain essentially mirror image instead of just displacement. And level 7, you gain either the slasher or the mobile feat, depending on where you're going with this. You can keep your displacement up, and now you can grapple creatures with your tentacles. And then you get to choose an actual class with that after that. So you can get up to 13 levels in another class.
Can you imagine using like rake with sneak attack from a rogue?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Doing like 1,000 damage.
Or paladin, where you're like, smite. You're like, ah.
Well, I mean, I'm thinking of like the sentinel feat, where you can like jump into the middle of battle and just bap, 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 bap. Like nobody gets to leave. You are just going to eat all of them. Surround them with images of you, terrify them, and then just consume them completely.
And now I'm imagining them in a party with a Selkie who's like, get in the water, do you need to leave right now?
I love it. All right, I'm gonna get rid of these other things that say monster name. So you've got 2 monsters on here.
Are we not saving them for next time?
I've got a master doc.
All right.
So we'll redo it each round. for
Yeah, no,
every couple of weeks, and see how many we get through. All right, so what I want to know for each of these two creatures is, first, Paul, with a Selkie, what would you multi-class into and why?
I'd probably go barbarian.
Ooh.
Because I like the idea of just having so much constitution. No, my apologies. I've chosen the wrong thing. I'd go bard because I like the idea of having so much charisma. And being able to sing and play an instrument to persuade you to the water. I quite like the idea of a Pied Piper type thing, where you're just leading a bunch of people along. And yeah, and then like increasing my AC for half of my charisma score, and all the proficiencies that Bard gets with Jack of all trades. Sorry, I'd probably go with Bard.
Yeah, no, that would be absolutely, and then getting advantage on all of your charisma checks.
Yeah,
absolutely. You would be like, Selkies could be just the ultimate face of the party, 100%. What about you, Tom?
Again, I very much agree with the bard, but I think I like the rogue. Again, that's just that sneaky. Again, more of a face rogue, but just that idea of like, or maybe actually, I'll tell you what, swashbuckler rogue. So then you pull yourself out, transform, you're like, hello, gentlemen. I think I'm having your ship. You're like, oh no. Oh, easy. And of course, the terror of being on the seas and going, is that a Selkie or is that just a seal? And you're like, and like, do we shoot them? And like, the pilot's like, absolutely no, don't touch them, don't look at them. If you hear music,
run away, run away,
flee.
Yeah, I feel like I would actually do a warlock Selkie, where it's like their patron is one of like the deep ones, and they use their abilities to like send victims directly to their master. You know, that's
cool. Yeah. Like, I think their master is always at the nearest body of water, and you're just going, there you go over that way to my master.
So, God, what is the name of it? There was a monster in 3.5 that was, it's one of the strangest monster entries because it is a unique monster. It's not named, like, you know, like they've got named monster entries in 5e. But it is a unique monster. I cannot remember the exact name of it. This is years ago. But the way that they are described is as like an image of flowing water, and all of their powers, they were very powerful. And all of their powers or abilities are based on like the spray around them and the droplets that they form. And they were considered neutral evil only because their only goal was to accumulate all the knowledge in the multiverse. And they would kill or destroy anyone to get that knowledge. They just didn't care. And they had like the most powerful artifacts and books and tomes in their library. And I feel like that absolutely, you could create this amazing story with that as the person who is your patron, and your job as the Selkie is to send people there to not necessarily die, as long as they give new information to your patron. That's all they want. If they can survive it, great. If not, meh, not my fault.
But also, like, if you're on a shipwreck and having the law going, if you go overboard, kill yourself first. The Selkies will take you and will drag you down into the deep. It's better to be, you know, and just that thing of like, again, if you're thinking of like a traditional Selkie with being a beautiful woman or like a mermaid, you're like, oh, we're saved, and then you just see these seal eyes and like, yeah, you're coming with us.
If you go overboard, head to the sharks, okay? Just head straight to the shark.
What do? You make barrels. Fascinating. Here we go.
You're a Cooper. Oh, fantastic. All right, now, Paul, Displacer Beast. What class are you going to multi-class into?
My instinct was Rogue because of how cooperative the two are. We've, you know, almost based it around the Rogue archetype. But I'm also thinking Monk because of all the multi-attacks you would get.
Yeah.
And like all the different... So eventually, two of your claws are going to hit, which means you can do rake. And it would just allow you to obliterate one person very aggressively and just shred them to bits. I think it'd be a really good opportunity for your descriptive capabilities to come out.
Yeah.
And you are slowly clawing away at this poor creature's armor and then skin. And choosing, like, being able to go between, like, your athletics or acrobats rarely plays into the monk, I think. So, yeah, I'd probably go monk.
No, I love that. I love that. What about you, Tom?
Well, this is the thing, like, sort of, I do like the idea of the monster we created being a warlock. You know, that same sort of thing of just going, oh, what have they agreed to? Also, maybe barbarian, just for that utter fury of this, like, again, I keep going back to people advising people to avoid these and going, no, these things are feral. You know, if you see it coming, just run.
Immediately.
You won't outrun it, but maybe you'll outrun your friends. You know, just as this thing comes in a rage and tentacles.
And absolutely, and you've got two friends, and you're trying to outrun them, and you think the displacer beast is going to stop and grab one. They just grapple them, carry him with them, as they keep running towards you, and then grab the other one. Like,
you just hear a voice in your head going, "I have more tentacles." You're like, oh, no.
Why? Oh my God.
Why did we come in these woods?
I personally think that I would go, like, probably sorcerer with them, because I just love the idea of shadow magic. Like, I love the idea of being able to, like, turn these illusions real for a little bit, or being able to, like, manipulate them, like, make them more powerful, give them, like, sound, independent movement, you know, like, creating, like, I would love to create a programmed image of myself that is like, oh, you're gonna go sneak around back and you're gonna convince them that, like, this is you, but then suddenly, you know, just, and especially, like, creating a situation where they're staring at someone and then right behind them the fireball explodes. You know, the illusion disappears, fireball blasts them, you know, right in the it's something that I love, is shooting a fireball right at the back of someone's head. Like, there's something very satisfying about that.
Okay, I have a question for you both then. What would be the worst class to multi-class into?
Yeah, if there was any warning, if we're going to put warnings in the book.
Yeah.
I think with a Selkie, the worst, let me see, what would be the worst class?
It would entirely depend if you count the Selkie skin as armor, because I don't think a monk is allowed to wear armor or loses benefits for armor.
Ooh, yeah. They lose.
So that would be at the DM's discretion, I think.
They're just they definitely lose benefits.
Yeah.
You were like, okay, you can't wear armor, but you also can't wear clothes if you're being a monk. So you're just there in this, like, seal skin, like, cloak going, I'm not allowed to wear trousers. I'm just not.
I don't make the rules, Charles.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think, that's a really good question. I think when it comes to that, I would say probably, like, artificer. Because if you're in, like, you'd have to have, like, two workshops, one that works underwater and one that works on the land. And I just imagine, like, you know, if you're, like, an artillerist artificer trying to use your flamethrower underwater, like your things will just keep rusting and getting jammed from all the salt water.
It's adorable. You just feel like by the sea, and then you just see, like, a little cannon going. And it just squirts water out. You're like, oh, come on.
That seems really fun, though. If you could figure it out, like, you see something moving in the water, you look over the side of your ship, and then all you see is this little nozzle of a little cannon go, and then fire blast. Oops, your ship's on fire.
Oopsie. Guess our god needs to have more people to talk to. No, that's the thing. They stole, like, an artificer, and they were like, cool, we can make that.
Your ship's on fire. Do you need some help?
Follow me.
Jump overboard, jump overboard. It's time for you to come meet. Oh God!
Yay!
Yay!
Your ship's on fire. Your future looks grim. Why don't you come for a swim?
Oh my God!
I like the fact that they're just perky. They're just really
Always.
Again, they're always so happy, and that's terrifying. You're like, yay! We're having a great time.
Oh my God! What about you?
I'm thinking like a druid would be really anti the point of a Selkie.
Oh yeah, like,
Like
so culturally,
like your
you're
big
like,
thing is
yeah.
the wild state.
Like I can transform into a seal and any other animal. Yay!
You did it.
For the other people, the other Selkies, they're like, well, what's wrong with being a seal? And you're like,
Yeah.
that would actually be really fun as a character. You're like, yeah, I got kicked out because I wanted to turn into other things. And they were like, no.
I had dreams of spiders and wolves.
Ooh, I want to be a bird. I want to fly. It's weird. You're weird, O'Dine. Get out of here.
I love that. A social pariah Selkie. That's I love. Yeah, I
will
like
move
that.
somewhere dry and where there is no. I'll move to the desert.
I love a desert Selkie.
Yeah.
Like, so in that situation, it definitely would be ranger then. Like, you are a ranger Selkie, and your preferred terrain is the desert. Yes. You can't go outside ever, because as soon as you try to like turn back to something, there's sand in your skin. And it's super uncomfortable. Absolutely.
The rest of the party have to like pour water on you, like pour their water skins on you. You're like,
One day they get like they run out of water, and he just has to charm them to find the nearest body.
Carry me to water.
Carry me, which way?
No! And they carry you to like the nearest cactus.
Just yeet you at a cactus. You're like, no, ow. Just bleeding. Go. Technically, this would give me diarrhea. Cactus facts. Like, cool, we're gonna die out here.
Yeah. Yeah, you will.
I do think Displacer Beast is a lot more obvious of what you don't want to multiclass in.
What?
Yeah.
That would be a wizard because you have -2 intelligence. Yeah.
That is also great fun where you like, I found this book, don't know what it does, but
can't read it. Good though, gotta go tentacle it.
Yeah. I want to do this. You're like, it's like, you know, the Hadar's. You're like, oh, make this happen. You're like, oh.
Well, they did. From 3.5 to 5e, they definitely shifted one of the things, which was like in 3.5, you had to cast a spell, a wizard spell. You had to have an intelligence of 10 plus the level of the spell. So in order for you to get all the way up to 9th level, you had to have an intelligence of at least 19.
That makes a lot of sense. Makes a lot of sense.
But they changed that. They changed that for 5e. So I feel like the Displacer Beasts, if they were following those rules, might be able to do like 2nd level spells if they got real lucky at some point. You know?
What level wizard spell can you do? -2.
Yep, absolutely. I have almost figured out this one cantrip. I'm very excited about it.
Guy, was it fairy fire? And you're just like, oh, that's nice. Oh, that's pleasant.
It starts chasing it.
Yeah. Oh no, create bonfire. And then you're like, and now you are out of the woods.
Oh my God. Accidentally burning your home down. Absolutely. 100%. You know what?
Go on.
I think actually a Displacer Beast Ranger might actually be fucking terrifying.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like that with like, you know, like, oh, you're my preferred enemy. Let me stack up 17 different types of damage on you in this one hit. Oh my God.
I'm also thinking like character-wise, like as said, paladin or cleric, and you're like, what do you worship? And it's
myself.
In like a tabard. Just this fanfare going, have you heard the word of Torm?
Like, I want a Displacer Beast in straight up like armored boots Like it doesn't rake you, it just like stomps you to death.
It starts doing
damage.
bludgeoning damage. Yeah. Completely ruins Rake, but
That's the alternative. If we got the donation, you're like, what is it? It's just bludgeoning. It's just wearing boots.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Puss in Boots, yeah.
Yeah, Puss in Boots.
There is, I sort of feel like, so I will admit, I have played every class in D&D except Fighter, the most basic class. I've never played, and to this day, I still only have a loose understanding of its mechanics. Like everything else, you get fun and interesting things. Fighters, I think in large part it's because in 3.5, doing special tactical maneuvers was part of every fighter's thing. And now you have to take special classes to do things with them, you know? And I'm like, or subclasses with them. I'm like, meh. Meh.
I have played Bard.
You did
you know
it.
what you like.
Yeah. I played half a session of Monk, and I played one session of Barbarian. And that is it. And I've dungeon mastered every other game I've ever been in.
I like for fighter, if you're like, yeah, I'm a cavalier. This is my horse. And you're like, why do you have a horse? You're like,
Oh, a cavalier fighter displacer beast? Yeah.
Oh my
riding
god.
in and like, ah. Why did you
Amazing.
get a horse?
I feel like the Displacer Beast Cavalier would definitely be like, they just eat the horse and then calling another one. They just have an infinite food supply.
To be fair,
Eat the wild horses.
I think a horse's movement speed is 30 feet, so the displacer beast would get bored and move quicker.
Yeah, absolutely. So you know what it would be? It'd be Displacer Beast wanting to play My Little Ponies and have like a real best friend. Like,
Just
I would
totally
totally see like painting a little like a little apple or something, or a little like rainbow on their rump, and being like, "This is My Little Pony. Everybody loves My Little Pony."
Again,
Come on.
for the party where you're like, your horses are gone, and now the displacer piece is like, My Little Pony. Pony. I'm going to give you wings. You're
Oh my
Pegasus
God.
now.
That is something that I desperately want. I do want to make a class where you can be the mount for someone else, like a Pegasus, you know, and you can give like pluses to whoever's riding you. Stop it, Tom.
Now I'm also picturing the Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe of Liam Neeson going, "Ride me!" So that's just mid-battle. You're like, "Ride me, my friend." Like, I'd
Into
rather
Godball
not.
we go.
Yeah.
I love that. Oh my God. Well, I want to say thank you to everybody for joining us today. Makes me very, very happy for our inaugural delightful stream where we are creating monster classes for publication probably early next year. We are going to be doing this every other week with Paul and fabulous guests. And I would love to hear, hey Tom, where can we find you all over the intranets?
Well, if you're looking for my own social media, so that is Thomas, so THOMAS, and then Jancis or Jancis, JANCIS. I'm Thomas Jancis on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I also play with Roll Together RPG, which if you look for Roll Together RPG, part of this wonderful stream team of ours, and also playing with Queen's Court Games, which is Queen's Court Games, also stream team. And I would just like to say, this has been amazing. I've absolutely loved this. I am so excited to come back and play. I'd happily play either of these classes. Such different vibes.
I feel like part of our play test is going to need to be like a battle royale.
Yes.
Between everyone, like, okay, everybody is level 5, with their various things. Let's see how this goes. Who's gonna rip apart who?
Got the baby Tarask in the corner.
I sort of feel like it should be a very interesting challenge. Like like the Tarrasque. Like, can you make this a playable class for D&D?
I like how we made the Displacer Beast a large at level 6. So Tarrasque is like humongous by level 10.
Oh my god. Well, what is that? Like, the Displacer Beast gets colossal, right? Or gargantuan. Which one does it get? Because it goes
Displacer Beast?
small, medium, no, Tarrasques. They go small, medium, large, huge, gargantuan, colossal.
Yeah.
So I think they get to colossal, don't they?
Yeah.
Just the fact you can't go on an adventure, you can't go in the dungeon, you're colossal.
We're gonna storm the castle. I got it, it's fine.
Yeah.
Stop.
Siege, I mean, they're siege monsters, so you can just be like, just punch right through the drawbridge. You're like, oh, I mean, I would now love a Tarrasque that just doesn't know its own strength and just keeps like killing things and like destroying towns accidentally.
I'd like multi-classing it into rogue or something.
Right.
I'd like it to be like the Incredible Hulk, that you can't always control it. That suddenly you're just like, oh no, here we go.
Like I feel like you could totally build a small keep on the back of the Tarrasque, which is where everyone sleeps. That's how, like, you just ride around on the Tarrasque and then slide down its tail. Like, we're here.
Your terrible secret is
half your town.
Your terrible secret is you're just a person. For some reason, everyone thinks he has the same fear as a Tarrasque. So you just come in and you're like, hi, and they're like, oh, it's gonna kill you. You're like, yes, be scared.
I love that, Pixie.
You're the
Tarrasque Kimbo. Absolutely.
You're like, that's just Brian. Just Brian having a moment.
Oh, yeah. And hey, Ampersand, where can we find you?
You can find me at AmpersandD20 on Twitter, Twitch, TikTok, every TTRPG space. Specifically Tuesdays and Thursday nights over on my Twitch channel, which is Twitch /AmpersandD20. Or join my Discord. You can find it on my Twitter somewhere, probably.
Fabulous. I love it. And you can find me here at Play Nerd Allies, where I stream 4 times a week. Including a couple of actual plays and some other fabulous writing streams that we do. You can also find me all over the place, either as Allies Nerd or Play Nerd Allies. I am the project manager for the Rolling Together stream team. I'm the co-founder for the Foundation for Inclusivity in Gaming, so you can find me over there as well. And in general, you can find me on all kinds of places. I also play with Dead Aussie Gamer and with Quest Junkies UK, and then do guest spots with people like Blackwater and Phoenix Iwaki, and all of the fabulous people out there. So I actually just did a 2-shot with 3 Black Halflings and Persephoroth and Connie Chang. So that was super delightful. So go check that out. And many interviews with people like Reckless Attack and all kinds of other delightful people. So you can find me everywhere. And now let's go look into rating someone delightful. I'm wondering who we should raid. I feel like we should raid into DMDM Studios because they are pretty delightful and I enjoy them a whole bunch. So thank you again for joining us. Go head down to the About page and go check out all our fabulous sponsors and go give them a holler. Click on a link. Say, hey, Play Nerd Allies sent you. We'd like stuff. Give me stuff. It's always fun. And we will see you on Tuesday for Hunter's Harvest, which is going to be delightful. Yay, villainy. Villainy. And let's see. Mwah!